how's it going? The Nux Taku situation is crazy. Yes, it's one of those nights. We're going to be looking at this newest video by Nikandros. Now, we did talk about this a little bit on the Friday stream with Max, but as Friday streams are wont to be, it went a little bit off the rails, and we didn't really get to the thick of it, the juicy parts. One thing I will say, one piece of maybe criticism I have for Nikandros, even though he may be a furry, maybe not, we're not sure, is that he likes a slow burn. He likes to set up the weak stuff first, and then it all leads into the bigger picture with the big bombshell at the end. And while I think that's a very good storytelling device, I'm not sure it works very well on YouTube because a lot of people don't have a very long attention span. As I'm sure, like, I don't know, like how many people actually stay to the end, the entire stream duration? Usually people dip in for about like 30 minutes or 40 minutes or something, and they go about their day or something while they're having their coffee or something. But I actually think this is a very important one to watch for the entire duration, because it kind of really sets up the entire picture of what Nux Taku was actually doing. Now, was Nux Taku involving in PDF behavior? Perhaps not, but it seems very clear that he was a part of, the ringleader of at least knowingly inviting minors to his Discord server where they were interacting with adults who were then sharing with them adult material. And he also was channeling minors into a secondary Discord where there was a lot of EPI, which is called early porn introduction. It's one of the theories behind grooming behaviors in child abuse. And this is very hypocritical, particularly of him, because he, at the very same time that this was all going on, was about the exact same time as the Ava Chris Tyson stuff, which is basically the same story. It's not good. It's not great. It's pretty bad, in fact. Now, Nux Taku tried to come out and say, like, no, this is all bullshit. Like, I didn't know any of this. But it's unless he's absolutely retarded, there's no way he couldn't have known this. He was engaging with these people. Like, he saw what was going on. But like I said, we'll go through the entire thing and see what we think. And then we've got to take a look at some follow-up videos that were put out by Based Autist, Harmful Opinions, which are very good, I think. I love the way he breaks things down, and he has a very straightforward, no-nonsense way of looking at things that usually cuts through the fat straight into it. But I hope you guys like the stream. We'll see what was going on. We'll probably watch the 1.25 speed. We've got to get through this. You know, everyone's got families to get back to as we're starting out.
I'm Nikandros.
So this is Nikandros. If you're unaware of Nikandros, very good. I would go subscribe to him. And what? I'm not subscribed to him? Okay, there, we just fixed that right now. Very embarrassing when that happens. Very, very embarrassing when that happens. But previously he was going after Mudahar, and he had the great button. I'm not sure if he actually delivered on part 2, but he's now changed I believe he's changed the name of this video, and he's now made it part 1 of 2, there was about an extra 25 minutes worth of content that he was going to include that he didn't have time to, because there's a really funny part at the end of this video. Again, spoilers alert, but he releases this video on Nuxtaku's 30th birthday. So he rushed out this video, part 1, to make sure it was released on the same day, which is it's a very funny little bit at the end. So I have to give him that. I think he's from Finland or something, which is very bizarre to have a Finnish person with a sense of humor. So let's see what he has to say for now.
This is Tectone, a guy who used to follow 900 hentai accounts on Twitter. When likes were still...
All right, we're starting off with some Tectone.
This is Tectone.
I don't know anything about Tectone. I know one of my friends is his friend. Following 900 Gooner accounts is pretty excessive. Maybe a bit too much. I think the limit should really be somewhere in the 100 range. Like, if you're into triple digits of Gooner accounts, I'm not sure we can co-sign this behavior.
A guy who used to follow 900 hentai accounts on Twitter.
Wait, listen. Unfollowed everyone because of my enormous ego. Also because I'm 30 and followed 900. There you go.
When likes were still public, people found out that Tectone had liked an animation depicting a Genshin Impact character called Venti getting their backdoor blown wide open by a BB Hilichurl C.
If likes ever come back, like if it ever is revealed what everyone likes on Twitter again, it's just fucking over. Like, removing the ability to see what people are liking was probably the best update that Twitter has ever had. And frankly, it's the only good update I think it's had in the last 3 years. It's been an absolute nightmare. Well, actually, that's not true. There's been 2 good updates so far. The hiding the likes, letting the people know the country of origin we are posted from, and allegedly there's going to be a 3rd update. We were able to block individual countries, which is going to be fantastic. Bye bye, India. Bye bye, India.
Context, Venti is an effeminate male character with the body of a 15-year-old boy. So Tectone has a history of jerking it to gay porn involving 15-year-old boys. This is more speculative, but photographic evidence suggests that Tectone lives by the slogan, "He who beats it, eats it." In case you don't know what that means...
Never mind, I was going to say something, but I don't think I'm going to be able to match the context here.
Now, you might be disgusted by this, but given Tectone's physiology, that's actually a very impressive feat.
Is that all?
Me when I show her my penis? I'm 6'8". I don't know why I would lie about that. My penis isn't that small where I feel the need to lie about my height. But I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". I'm 6'8". You 6'8". I'm 6'8". 6'7". I'm at 6'6". I'm 6'7". I'm 6'7".
How do people's ages keep changing? That's my curiosity. Is he shrinking and growing? Is he on the GH? What is it? HGH?
6'6" men BMI.
Now, for reference, I'm 6'7".
What the
I've
fuck?
sometimes claimed to be 200.
I'm 6'3", but I don't think I've ever lied about my height, although everybody lies about their height on the internet, so who knows.
And sometimes 201 centimeters, but I've never claimed to be 2 whole inches taller. You might say that lying about 2 inches is not a big deal, but to some people, that's all they've got.
Thankfully, I have a very small cock.
I'm not so interested in the Tectone stuff, but the introduction is very entertaining so far.
Tectone was recently served a
614?
10-year
Okay.
protective order to stay at least 200 yards away from his ex-girlfriend Pinkachu for sexually assaulting and stalking her. He's also been forced to give up all of his guns. Before this all came out,
He's
he also had
gunless.
some really deep thoughts.
The more you are aware of what's going on in the world, the more that you are aware of these people that are lying.
This is a very interesting detail. I mean, and nobody cares but me. But like when he puts in the source for the material for what he's linking, he doesn't actually include the regular link like a normal person. He just puts in the YouTube hash code for it, which is, I guess, perfectly fine. But it's so autistic. I appreciate it. I'm just saying it's autistic.
The more that these people will try to discredit the people
You don't shrink when you get older. This is bullshit, okay? This is just people's posture getting worse.
telling the truth. I mean, I want you to look at Nux Taku, for an example.
Now, I found out about Nuxtaku around the time of his Shadman controversy, and because of some drama between Mutaha and someone called Shadlogic. It's a complicated story.
Nux Taku got his entire career temporarily destroyed, which he bounced back from because he's one of the goats.
Oh, by the way, I mentioned this on Friday, but the only thing I know about Nux Taku previously, I will say that Nux Taku is always in my, like, I know who this person is and he's in my sussy category. Like, I suspect there's something sussy about this guy, but I can't prove it, sort of thing. But, like, the only fact I knew about him was that his AdSense account was registered in Israel. Because apparently when his channel was first monetized, like, you have got to get to 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours. You know, you apply for monetization then and there. The country that you're applying, you can't change it. You're only allowed to have one AdSense account. You're allowed one personal one and one business account. I suppose every business can have its own account, whatever. It doesn't matter. He's got, I'm just saying, the one fun fact I know about Nux Taku is that he registered his AdSense account while in Israel, and then he lives in the US, so he's like, he could never change it. So every time he gets money from Google, it's going straight to Israel. And then I guess the US, which is the first time that money has left the Israel towards the US. It's usually the other direction, which is very interesting to me.
Bless you, Nux.
Yes, the post-Nux Clarity incident.
So this
It's a
video
very funny
was
name for
uploaded with,
a
again,
drama.
Nux Taku as Jeffrey Epstein, and me as, I assume, Ghislaine Maxwell over here.
Since then, Nuxtaku has re-established himself as one of many populistic right-wing commentators, such as Tectone himself, who tried to orbit Asmongold.
All right, let's have a look at these right-wing
As one of many
commentators.
populistic right-wing commentators.
All right, let me see if there's anyone I like on this list. I don't know who most of these people are. I don't like Grums. Grums is one of the biggest fucking grifters in the world, and he's such a piece of shit. All he ever talks about is how AI is going to finish games for people, because he's hoping that his game will be finished. I'm indifferent to Tectone. Ethan I've been getting more fond of recently because of the funny things he's been doing with iDubbbz and Hassan. Asmongold's fine. Sometimes he's got some good takes, sometimes not so great takes, but he's very entertaining. I especially like how he makes everybody fucking mad. That's what I'm a big fan of. This guy I only knew about recently, Chibi Reviews, because he had a big fucking crash out where like he was like crying on stream, or not stream, he was crying on live uploaded video where I guess like his fiance cheated on him and took his entire friends group with her. Bit of a weird situation. Not sure why you'd post that. If anything ever happens to me, you'll never know about it. I'll never tell you. I could be going through torment right now and I'd never tell you.
Such as Tectone himself, who tried to orbit Asmongold.
When did Ethan become right-wing? I mean, I don't think he is right-wing. It's just the weird labels people put on people, right?
is really like, I mean, this part right here, right?
I know that Nikandros did say that.
And then there's this. And then there's a little bit of that, too.
I was apparently recently hired as Asmongold's thumbnail editor.
Why wasn't Asmongold nominated at the Streamer Awards? And it's me holding up a fucking thing of I'm white, you're black, and I'm pointing a gun at somebody?
It's a pretty good thumbnail.
Damn, bro, like, that's what it was. This is a top-tier thumbnail? I think it is. Honestly, like, we should have just used this one. Oh, my God. Hired this guy? Yeah. I think it is. Honestly, like, we should have just used this one.
Sorry, this video is going to get really dark, so we have to have a bit of laughs while we can, okay? Because it's going to get very, you're going to get very angry as we go through this. But this is, like, there's just something so smug about this picture. Like, there's such depth to it. I love this thumbnail. It's perfect.
Oh, my God. Hired this guy? Yeah. Yeah, this is great. Thumbnail editor. This is great. Yeah, why not?
My response was not the most charismatic one.
All right, what did he respond to? What did he say? Go back. These ideas don't come to me on a consistent basis, but it would be fun to try. Okay, so it's not that interesting.
He never actually intended to hire me. That was merely a stunt he did for his livestream. Given his recent defending of Tectone, it was probably for the best. As a Forbes magazine featured commentator, I can't be associating with people like this. However, this video isn't about Asmongold or Tectone. It's about the rumors circulating Nux Taku.
The amount of misinformation put out on this guy is insane. I mean, dude, I get told that Nux is a pedophile daily. And I'm like, brother, what the fuck are you talking about? Nux has always been good to me, and I'm a guy who's always gonna have the back of my friends. However, I will also be the first guy to hold my friends accountable.
We'll see about that. But why would anyone say that Nux Taku l***s after children?
So, actually, I do know some context with this. Tectone has said that Nux Taku blew away all of the allegations coming out in this video in 5 minutes, but he didn't actually look at anything. In fact, Nux Taku said that he didn't watch this video. He just reacted to some clips of it.
I have my own criticisms of the guy, but he's a very religious man.
We got to stand up and fight for God. We were living in.
See, look, he just posts like the YouTube hashcode. It's very unusual. Like, this is a very unique little like thing, and I know nobody fucking cares. I know nobody fucking cares, but this is like this. If you just pasted this to the end of like the watch question mark and then this, that would go to the video.
In a world of like
normal people would put youtube.com/thing there, because then the retards that are watching this video like me would be like, oh, that's a YouTube link. Okay, that makes sense.
Like unbelievable hedonism that just kept ramping up higher and higher and higher, you know? Higher and higher. More and more hedonism and secularism. And
VTubers need to take the sewer slide. Maddie. Some VTubers I assume are good people. Okay, I know 1 or 2 VTubers. The thing is, like, the thing I don't like about VTubers, I will say this, is that VTubers are incredibly cringe when they're talking about being a VTuber. Like, if they just say, like, I'm a streamer, I'm a YouTuber, whatever, I don't give a shit. But if they're like, no, I'm a VTuber. It's like, no, you're just someone with an avatar. It just so happens that your avatar is anime inspired.
It completely took over. And
it insists upon itself. That's what it did. What the fuck is my camera doing? Oh my goodness. What the? Hold on. The camera just decided to change the picture profile. So now we're colorless. We're monochromatic. Well, actually, no, we're not. We're, what is it? Grayscale.
This is an unbelievable conversation that's being had right now.
He speaks out against hedonism and degeneracy.
It's not surprising that people that are based purely on hedonism, that they think you could fuck everything that moves. They think that sex should be publicized and taught to little babies and children, teaching them to change their genders and shit like that.
He's against sex being taught to young children and little babies. He hasn't always been open.
I don't know if I can fix it, chat. I think it's just fucked. I could turn my camera on and off. That might fix it. But maybe we'll just leave it this way.
About his religious beliefs, but he has a long history of...
I don't believe in shades of... Well, maybe I do believe in shades of grey. We'll have to see.
Criticizing the Twitch platform for making adult content available to minors.
Twitch can't decide whether they want to be a 13+ gaming website or an 18+ porn website. Twitch wants to rake in all that advertiser bucks for being a 13+ gaming website. They want to be on every single freaking smart television in America because...
Oh, wait, I actually want to say something about this. Let me go back for a second. Sorry, I'm being distracted by the colors on the camera.
For being a 13+ game site or an 18+ porn website.
No, Twitch wants to be both. Twitch specifically wants to be a 13+ porn site. It wants to... What the fuck is my camera actually doing? Like, yo, what the fuck? Oh, okay, sorry. This is getting very distracting. I might have to try and fix this. Otherwise, you might not be able to continue. But no, Twitch wants to do both. It definitely has been leaning into the softcore porn industry by... I mean, they had a fucking body painting segment until people complained about it. Like, it's ridiculous.
Twitch wants to rake in all that advertiser bucks for being a 13 plus gaming website. They want to be on every single freaking smart television in America because that's how they get so many of their little young impressionable viewers. They are trying to be a 13 plus gaming website as well as a porn site at the same exact fucking time. Just recently, you had the implied nudity meta on Twitch where they allowed artistic nudity, which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13 plus gaming website, by the way.
Making adult content available to children is totally inappropriate, and Nux Taku has known this for a while.
Hentai ain't for kids under 18, let alone under 13.
Some insist that it is solely the parents' responsibility to stop their children from seeing that stuff. End of
I'm muted? Oh my goodness, he's muted! I don't know why. Like, I'm having such bad luck recently. This is like... Should we just start the stream again? Scuffed, scuff, scuff sound. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that, like... Lamol Unk. This is the Unk. I'm actually Unk maxing. I've got a shit filter. Everything's falling apart. Just like my life. He needs a dermatologist? What? No, I don't. Disaster. This is a good thing that he's having technical issues. I'm gonna try and fix everything, okay, while we continue to listen to this. I can't make any promises. You guys have no idea. Like, I met my weird accountant today and he told me that I was an unk as well. While he's the, and I have the craziest story about my accountant, but I think I'll save it for Friday. He has gotten even weirder. What I was saying while I was mute maxing was that, yes, parents have a responsibility to look after their children, but it does not mean we absolve people of being weirdos around children. It's like, well, you should have kept me away from them. No, it doesn't fucking work like that. If you've got adults that are discussing pornography or showing, like, it's going to come up in this video, but if you have adults that are showing children gore, if you're showing them sex toy collections, if you're showing them literal porn, we can only assume that behavior is not acceptable, obviously. It's criminal behavior, and it should be treated as such. And Nux Taku was either knowingly a part of this or co-signing it. In fact, he was promoting one of the people that was doing this with people that were very clearly underage, specifically 14, in his Discord. All right, I'm going to try and fix it. I'm going to mute myself and try and fix this and not return unmuted.
Story.
I think it's
I think that's a very dumb perspective, so I'm going to back up Nux Taku on this one. Parents do have the primary responsibility to protect their children, but that responsibility isn't on them alone. If you're publishing content on a 13+ website, the creators, the parents, and the platform have a shared responsibility to protect the children using that site from being exposed to harmful content. In the case of Twitch, the creators are knowingly streaming inappropriate content, and Twitch isn't cracking down on it. As Nux Taku clearly understands, it is supposed to be a 13+ platform. If you're allowing or uploading adult content onto that platform, you're clearly doing something wrong and should be held responsible if kids come across that content. Parents can easily block actual adult websites, and some even teach you how to do it. But when adult content is hidden on a 13+ website, the parents might not even suspect it to be there. Take, for example, Nutaha's aunt.
Here's the fucking wildest thing about her, okay? So she has every fucking parental filter. If you walk into her house, it's like fucking North Korea. However, she hasn't done anything for YouTube. She hasn't looked at parental controls. So in her mind, she's like, I'm a good parent. I'm making sure they don't watch porn. And then their kids are watching like Andrew Tate and shit. So she's blocked this one possibly dangerous avenue of like, you know, psych infiltrating shit, but she hasn't locked the other one out.
Instead of telling his aunt to set up parental controls on YouTube,
all right, I think we've fixed it. If my camera fucks up again, I think that's it's just over chat. But I think we're basically as good as it's gonna get.
Nutaha decided to shit talk her parenting on his massive podcast. Very normal behavior. So when adult content is on an adult website, it's easily blocked. When it's on Twitch or YouTube, it can go unnoticed and in the worst cases, subvert those parental controls. That's why it's important for creators on these platforms to keep in mind that their content is going to be available to and be seen by children.
But the thing is, like, people actively market this sort of smut to children because they know that the children will go there for it to get around these sort of things. Like, kids are smart. They'll always find ways to find this stuff. That's just a part of life. But specifically, it's like the OnlyFans people or the people that are promoting, in Nux Taku's case, like very sexualized anime, hentais, those sort of things, which is basically his entire bread and butter of his entire channel. They know that this is going to be tantalizing to these young audiences. This is why they indulge and encourage the behavior. And it seems very clear that this is what Nux Taku was doing, because he was using, like, it's going to come up again later in this video, but he was specifically using thumbnails that were heavily sexualized to try and increase his, you know, his click-through rate, which, you know, every YouTuber does. There's nothing wrong with that. And, you know, a little bit of sex appeal is fine, except if your target demographic is 13-year-olds, which clearly people that are interested in anime is going to be one of the primary groups. You might say, like, oh, anime can be enjoyed by adults. So sure, whatever, they can, absolutely can. But that's not the primary audience. There's a reason that they're like the most popular genre of anime is called shonen anime, which is like young boy anime, because it appeals to young boys.
As an example, you shouldn't have a hentai reviewer on your podcast and then shout them out by pitching their content as a method to circumvent parental controls.
Ladies and gentlemen, please check out our friend Hartweigen, friend of the show, absolutely amazing creator. If you're into hentai and you want to, and you got parental filters all over your web browser, this is a channel for you, because YouTube is not blocked by parental.
The video's name was called You Should Fap To, and then it's, I guess, it's been blocked by Nikandros, who clearly is anti-LG-generacy.
Filter. So wink wink on that.
What a name for a video.
Before you run off calling Mutaha some early porn introduction mogul, this is just a single irresponsible one-off comment from years ago. It was a dumb thing to say, but there is no broad pattern of Mutaha engaging in this behavior.
The camera should be fixed in 20 minutes, don't worry about it. Based past viewer.
Turn to Nux's critique of Twitch. Another problem with adult content being on a 13+ website is its potential to funnel children to adult websites and services.
Well, specifically, like, I think this is what Nux Taku is about to mention. And he may be right about what he's about to say, and that Twitch is a funnel, a gateway, if you will, to OnlyFans content. Specifically, like, they used to joke about, like, the 2 clicks away in people's bio. So you go to someone's Twitch account, then you go to their Twitter account, and then links in the bio, that's where their OnlyFans is. And, you know, it's fine to talk about this sort of stuff, but it's also very hypocritical if you yourself are also funneling children into pornography-laced dens, which is exactly what Nux was apparently doing.
Every single freaking ASMR streamer on Twitch is linking their OnlyFans, because ultimately Twitch is a massive funnel to that stuff, and Twitch knows that. Most of Twitch these days is a literal funnel to OnlyFans. Remember, this is a 13+ gaming website where...
I mean, I don't want to say, like, only, like, obviously. But there was it used to be insane. We used to actually go and joke about how much smut there was on the Twitch homepage. If you go to, like, a private browser and then just go to browse, like, the Just Talking or something, or IRL segment, it was barely scrollable. It was like quartering levels of Twitter timeline scrolling danger.
90% of Just Chatting streams are boobs, funneling people to the OnlyFans of the streamers, because it's not like there's any discoverability on OnlyFans. And the recommended page and every thumbnail on the Just Chatting category would be banned on YouTube. Bro, do you see what's going on your website, bro? This shit would be banned on YouTube immediately.
I'm not too sure about that last bit, but if a creator's content is directing children to adult websites, making it more available and accessible to them, they are more likely to not only seek out that content, but also far more extreme content than they otherwise would have. Nux Taku, on the other hand, has been criticizing Twitch for allowing this content since the creation of the hot tubs category.
The new Twitch meta, ladies and gentlemen, she doesn't need to see it for her browser history if you look up PONR. Her stream is PONR, bruh.
It's just so noisy.
Bruh, it's unbelievable that this content is allowed.
In February 2021, he released a whole song about it.
I made a music video parody of Billie Eilish's Bad Guy when the Twitch hot tub meta was going on. All the top streamers were female streamers in hot tubs wearing nothing. And I made a music video parody, Twitch is hentai.
Twitch is hentai. Twitch thoughts giving teens bloody no sleep.
Damn, a great message and a banger tune. There is just one big problem I have with Nux's critique here. He left out the
What's wrong with boobs? I don't listen to them anyway. There's nothing wrong with boobs. But if you're an adult man talking to 13-year-olds about boobs, that's pretty creepy shit. That's some weird shit. That's some grooming behavior. That's the issue.
most dangerous elements of this kind of content. Any child can see bikini ladies on the beach or at the pool, but they're not going to see bikini ladies doing erotic dances while surrounded by adult strangers who are touching themselves while chatting with them. They are also not going to receive private messages or invitations to join a private group chat where a much older person showers them with attention and makes them feel special.
There's also definitely different in context with these sort of things. Like if you see a bikini at the beach is not the same as a bikini in a mall. It just isn't. I know it's like, well, what's the factual difference? It is just different. There is something much more different. A bikini at a beach is not the same as a bikini in a bedroom. And like specifically the clip that he was just showing there was Morgue Pie. And what she was, and she's a very prolific OF person. And what she was doing, it wasn't actually bikini. They were doing the black bar meta. So it was like they put a black bar over their tits, like on a stream overlay. and they were actually nude behind them. So it's kind of the brain kind of fills in the gaps, and it provokes your like animalistic urges essentially. It's like if you've ever seen this like bubble meme, which is like a very, very old 4chan thing where it's like you have a person in a bikini, they look like the person in a bikini. If you cover their bikini with like these bubble patterns, it looks like they're nude for some reason, because it's just one of these like optical illusion sort of things. And they were very obviously abusing this sort of basic human psychology to evoke these reactions and money out of these simp dollars. And it's a very interesting question, actually, like the difference in giving money to like a male or a female creator, especially when they're younger. Because I mean, the person giving the money is younger, because it kind of, I think with men it's a lot more destructive. Like if a man is giving money to a woman, it's kind of tricking his sort of protector nature that every man has inside them, because men want to provide and protect, and women, you know, like the nurturings and raisers of children. Like biologically, don't crucify me, I'm just telling you the facts of nature, as it were. But somebody has put forward the theory that like when you get these sort of people where men are giving hundreds or thousands of dollars to these women in sort of like a financial domination situation, or just like these like tier 3 Twitch simps, is it activating the same parts of their brains that they would be if they were in some sort of relationship? And what kind of are the women that are doing this abusing this sort of natural urge that men have? It's I'm not sure if I necessarily agree with it, but it is an interesting thought, because like, yes, there are these sort of ingrained human urges that we all have, but at the same time, you're also responsible for your own actions. And you know, if women are out there just like, you know, abusing the system, can you really hate the player instead of the game? Don't know. What about an urge to play as a dinosaur? I have that urge all the time, but I just don't play that game very much anymore. It's a fun game. It's just too busy.
Creators don't just put out content, they have a community, whether it's in their comments or on other platforms. If the creator's content is explicit...
So this is what I was talking about. Like they've got this implied nudity, so they just have like a bar here. And I think that this has actually been put on here by Nikandros. But what they would essentially have is they would either be completely naked, or they would have like a, you know, a strapless bra. And then they would have this secondary bar over them, so it looks like they're totally naked.
Then so will their community. If children are allowed into these spaces, the creator is facilitating...
All right, so this is the Morgpie rules. Be nice, no spam, no not suitable for work, absolutely no. This is kind of rich, though, coming from like an OF creator. 18 plus server. If you're under 18, you're not allowed here. I mean, that's a good standard you should have for every Discord server, especially for an adult. Like, I think, obviously, adults should not be interacting with like other people's children on the internet. That's a very weird thing to happen. For some reason, there's a group of creators out there that think it's totally normal, and this is why you see so many degenerates in these sort of Minecraft spaces, or people that focus on these things that appeal to children, like anime in particular.
A space where adults and minors are talking about explicit matters with each other. Even if there are no predators in those spaces, if minors are allowed access, they are still being normalized to the idea that it's okay for them to be talking about these things with random adults, making them much more vulnerable. Nux Taku has actually made videos in the past catfishing predators on Discord, but his activism doesn't end there. In 2021, he tried to trick Shadman, the infamous lolicon artist, into a confrontation to grill them for drawing Lolly Beast comics. Wanna collab? Lamau, no, but your heart's in the right place. Wait, why would Shadman say that? Anyway, these statements and instances where Nux Taku actually mocked messages he received from Shadman have been misconstrued by bad faith actors to claim that Nux Taku had some connection with Shadman or a desire to work with him. I mean, look at...
I thought that they... Oh, maybe I saw this, maybe I got fooled by this, but I thought that Nux Taku literally was, like, either trying to interview him for his own gain, or his own, like, enrichment, or if he was, like... Am I thinking of someone else?
Timeline. We're supposed to believe that 3 days after catfishing predators, Nux Taku was trying to get on Shadman's good side. It is such easily debunkable nonsense. This whole controversy was just an offshoot of the early Mr. Beast drama, when Ava Chris Tyson's fandom of Shadman was exposed. Nux Taku was among the people...
So the important part of this, like I said, like a lot of these videos are slow burns, but it kind of makes sense towards the end. What we're doing right here is we're establishing that Nux Taku is against Shadman and against Ava Chris Tyson because of their interaction with minors and also the degeneracy. And if you're unaware of Shadman was basically an artist that would do a lot of like sexualized children comics sort of things. Like I think he drew Keemstar's daughter in like in a porn sort of thing. And this Shadman artist had a very recognizable like style. There's something about it that was just like you instantly knew it was like a Shadman comic. And they were always like, well, not always, but most of the time they were this degenerate style. And it actually got to the point that it became like an actual meme where you'd say like Shadman and it was like the 4chan text and you're like walking around and leaving. Now this person was, as it turns out, had their Shadman art on Ava Chris Tyson's bedroom and Mr. Beast while they were both sharing their rooms together. It was like a pretty big thing that happened like a year or two ago. I can't remember exactly when. But right, like I said, what we're trying to establish here is that Nux Taku is against these people. So, you know, if he has a standard of morals, if he's actually against this sort of behavior, then he won't be doing it himself, which is proven to be not the case.
Calling her out on it, but also for running
Is
a
Shadman
Discord
related to Shadiversity? No. Shadiversity is cringe, but he's not a bad guy as far as I can tell.
server where NSFW content was available to minors. Despite his consistent, long-term opposition to children being exposed to adult content, and criticism of multiple creators who have blurred the line between adults and children, Nux Taku continues to be smeared as some kind of pedophile because of his old videos.
My videos were showing people weird shit that came out of Japan to get funny reactions, and I to this day do not think that they were harmful videos. I don't.
It really isn't necessary, but let's take a look at one of those examples. If we go to May of 2021, a couple months after releasing the song about Twitch, and a few months before the Shadman collab request, he released this video. It's about Nuxtaku reviewing the old comics made by the author of the Nagatoro manga. It's a romantic comedy about the...
There's not just a Discord in this, though. There's two Discords, and that's a problem, is that, like, while Nuxtaku goes on to defend that his Discord was, like, it's 18 plus only, which is not the case, because he actually talked about the different ages that would go into his Discord, such as 16 or higher. I believe that was the lowest he said on stream. He had a secondary Discord, which had another not suitable for work channels that he was funneling people into through his Patreon.
Nagatoro, a high school junior. I know a little trick for looking up the old thumbnails of videos on the Internet Archive, and the thumbnail of this video used to look like this. Nagatoro taking off her panties. This isn't the second version. This is the third version. Here is the second version. Nagatoro
All right, let's see who's going with this.
completely naked, and there's some kind of a chimpanzee behind her.
But she said
What did Nuxtaku mean by this?
in the forest, and all of a sudden Monkey comes out and starts.
That's a lot of monkey hands. Jesus Christ.
God damn it. And then they proceed to. Okay, anyway. She ends up having an epiphany that in order to survive, she must drink fluids. So she proceeds
Okay,
to drink
yeah,
fluids.
yeah. I know.
Oh, yeah, no. That's why she's like, go as much as you want, because
You can dish out there. Okay.
Yeah.
Censorship context. Girl stretching her mouth open with DNA visible on her tongue. DNA in quotation marks. Where is Nuxtaku finding these gorilla grape comics?
Hey.
She needs to drink it to survive. This is survival instincts. Boom! They were in fact not in the forest. She was in fact with the monkeys in a zoo in front of a whole bunch of people. Out of people? No, an audience? Is this a zoo? They saw all of it? The mating act? This is so crazy. This is the worst image in the history of
why would the monkey bring it up? That's so weird.
So she pushes the shock collar that she happens to be wearing.
Oh, they put her on a shot? What the fuck?
To force her to do the friendship show.
So she's a slave.
Yeah, it's pretty messed up. And then she has to dance like Monkey.
Nuxtaku is displaying a comic to his audience about a little girl being raped by a pack of monkeys in a zoo exhibit before a crowd of children. The censorship is at times very lacking. There's lots of fluids and even monkey cocks visible on screen. Not only did Nuxtaku show that, he's displaying multiple adult websites and shows the names of all the comics, making it easy for the audience members to look them up for themselves.
Lolicon. Oh, it hurts so bad.
What? It's got 69.
There's 69,000 Lolicon manga.
69,000. No big deal, right?
Popular.
This is
I mean, like, the thing is, Nuxtaku's chat, like, this is pretty disgusting material, but if, like, it's adults talking about it or whatever, they'd be like, oh, okay, whatever, it's just adults. But the thing is that I would argue that Nuxtaku's content is directly aimed at young people. Like, I want to say teenagers. Like, he's in, like, the entire vibe, the entire content is just coded for younger viewers. Probably the entire VTubing in a whole is most likely aimed at that. But I mean, I assume I'm not into the VTubing stuff. But I would definitely argue, like, if I saw this and I had to guess, like, what is this target demographic? I would say it's the same target demographic that appeals to Mr. Beast viewer, like young kids.
far worse than anything I've seen on Twitch. How is this sponsored by Raycon? Wasn't Nuxtaku supposed to confront Shadman for this stuff? I thought he was against hedonism and degeneracy. The video was also not age restricted, meaning that he made it visible to his own crowd of children.
Well, like, it seems that Nuxtaku has also been on a recent, like, grift change where he's going to pretend to be, like, conservative tradcon or whatever, which seems very, very popular at the moment, is to transition into the sort of like, oh my goodness, porn is bad. We got to save the, like, I mean, that's fine if that's what you want to be, if that's who you are. But like, Nuxtaku specifically seems to be skinwalking as one of these people to try and grift more dollary-doos out.
Children, and the comment section had many children on it. Some of them were asking for Nuxtaku to reduce the
Nuxtaku has 2
censorship,
million
and
subscribers.
others.
You know the thing that mattered, the thing that's really sad is that I don't think that any of this is going to matter in the end, because the kind of people that seem to be subscribed to Nuxtaku won't give a shit about this. In fact, they might even double down and say that he's based because he was covering this.
Were asking for the source of these adult comics. When I say children, I'm not just making a blind guess. Many of these children had videos of themselves on their channel. So while Nuxtaku was railing against Twitch for letting children see bikini ladies, he was uploading content like this, with thumbnails like
That's
this.
the hypocrisy,
to a
that's the word, that's the worst part.
13+ website.
Which is, again, still...
And like, specifically like these sort of thumbnails.
Uploading content like this, with thumbnails like this.
Alright, so these sort of thumbnails, so you've got like this anime character, obviously being raped by these chimpanzees, or this one she's just like taking her panties off. I mean, it appeals to the animalistic side and also the young side of your mind. So this does get the clicks from younger demographics because they want to see this sort of stuff. They don't have the presence of mind or the deferred gratification required to say like, okay, I'm not going to watch this Guna material because I know it's not going to be that interesting.
To a 13+ website.
Which is, again, still mind-blowing to me that they even thought this was a good idea on a 13+ gaming website, by the way.
And nowadays, he presents himself as this fighter for God and this opponent of degeneracy and hedonism. This video isn't publicly available anymore because I tweeted a link to it around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident. It used to embed on the tweet, but now it no longer does because within 30
minutes... Do you
minutes...
go searching your subs channels, man? What do you mean? You mean the people I'm subscribed to? Or the people that are subscribed to me? That's not the point, though. Because these are the videos that Nux Taku is making. I'm not sure what you mean here. But actually, this is interesting, that that video that Nikandros is talking about. Because I was looking at Nitaku's Social Blade checkup, right? And there's a dip here of about 500,000 views. I wonder if that is that video there. That could be the missing one.
Minutes of me tweeting it, the video was set to private. There was no apology or explanation, only an attempt to hide evidence of one's past, which in itself became evidence of a guilty mind. I have never seen anyone post the kind of content Nuxtaku did on a regular basis and not get banned. Not only hasn't he been banned, until recently, he was hanging out with massive, well-respected creators. He might be one of the most underlooked and worst cases of such a high-profile creator, profiting from exposing children to adult content, directing them to adult websites, and running their communities with a total disregard for child safety. Nowadays, he pretends that none of this ever happened. He downplays it, lies about it, and deletes evidence of it. Let's start from the beginning. Nux Taku started out as an anime YouTuber in 2015. He grew slowly and steadily, but in late 2019, everything changed. Jeffrey Epstein died in prison.
Okay.
Excuse me, 2 weeks after that.
I also made a video on YouTube that has since been removed, the biggest flexes in hentai. And the degeneracy began from there.
In the video, Nux Taku reviews and recommends 10 hentai animations, 7 of which were categorized as lolly, meaning they could...
The video in question was Nick's point that Nux had audience members with a video of themselves depicting them as children. I see what you're talking about here, but I don't think that's necessarily relevant, but it is important because it's going to come up in the Discord area when it, like I said, this kind of starts like slowly and kind of snowballs, in that there was direct messages saying that these people were like 15, 13, 14, 12, all these different ages, and Nux was aware of this. So there's no like, oh, I just didn't know what was happening. He was very much aware of these sort of things.
Contained underage characters.
And this bad boy, very not chill stepfather, has a very not chill relationship with stepdaughter. Again, most people would think this is weird, but hentai clearly knows better.
He was already showing adult content to a 13+ audience.
So like, this is actually kind of a funny thing that comes up later, but this image here, which was, I guess, commissioned by Nux Taku, is called the Nux Merchant, which is a bit of a fun little detail.
And giving them advice on how to find adult content online.
The reason why I bring it up here is because without putting text on the screen is nearly impossible to remember. Therefore, since the plot, and it's a goddamn plot, deep thematic and philosophical undertones here, I believe anyone who wanted to search this bad boy up without said title, because I was a douche for not putting it on screen, would just simply look up time stop hentai. Far easier than... Very understandable. A lot of y'alls.
I guess at the risk of talking about degeneracy, I've also talked about time stop pornography before, which is actually, it's rape. Like if you're like, well, what is this? No, the reason because I want to make this clear. I've said that this is the best genre of JAV before, And I said this because it's the only genre of Jav where your ears aren't getting raped. It's the only one where people aren't screaming. So it's just a funny joke, okay? How do I know? It's just a joke. Don't worry about it.
Sent me screenshots on
But I don't have an audience that's targeted towards children. In fact, I told children to get the fuck out of my streams, and none of them are allowed to join my Discord.
Link to my Twitter in the description of the top recommended searches on
I mean, it's role play. Okay, they don't actually have a time machine, but it was just a funny thing to say, I thought.
Prawn. And lo and behold, much to my surprise, WTF fanbase. One of the top hits is Time Stop Hentai. And it stayed like that for 3 goddamn days immediately after me uploading my biggest flex as an hentai video. Now that is the biggest flex in hentai.
At the time, these videos earned him a massive amount of attention. The first video got 500,000 views, and its many sequels were even more successful, with the whole series garnering a total of 5 million views. One of them was even sponsored.
If there was only an extra million there, it would have been so funny. Greatest plot twist in hentai, haha, for the ad sponsoring. What is this? What sponsor is this, though?
By an adult game platform. Because these videos were far more TOS risky than his usual content, Nuxtaku would soon delete them after uploading to avoid moderation consequences.
The greatest plots in hentai too! Yes, this video will be deleted soon after uploading for the sake of my channel's survival, but a promise is a promise, so yippee, here we go! 50,000 likes and the greatest plots in hentai 3 will be out eventually.
In reality, he didn't actually delete them. He set them to private, and at a later date, he set them to unlisted, meaning that anyone with a link could see them. I actually managed to find these videos quite some time ago. I archived them, and Nuxtaku can tell you the rest.
There's actually a pretty easy way to find unlisted videos. So if you're like a YouTuber out there trying to hide your disgraces, make sure you always leave them on private. Unlisted is like obviously anyone with the ability to, you know, have the link can obviously find it. But there is a very simple, very straightforward way to find any video that has been unlisted. And it actually shocked me the amount of information you can find with various new tools that are out there.
One of them remains unlisted.
Now, there may be the question, like, was he leaving them? Why did he transfer them from private to unlisted? Maybe it was just a preference. Who knows? Maybe it was so that people could watch them in private without them showing up on Nux's channel, because he seems like he has this kind of motivation, or MO, I should say, where he sets something up very provocative, like with these provocative, like porn thumbnails. Then he changes them later when he gets backlash, and he hides them and tries to run away with the initial views. And if you're unaware of how YouTube works, you can't get money from an unlimited, so you can't earn ad revenue from an unlisted video. However, if you have a video running for like 10 minutes or something, all of the views inside that 10 minutes will be monetized. If you're unlisted after that point, you won't. So if you run a video for like 1 day, 24 hours, gather all the initial views, because a lot of YouTube channels operate on the channel on the basis of getting the views in the first couple of days, and then there's very little evergreen views coming after that. But if you had this sort of audience that would click very quickly, watch everything very quickly, and then you unlisted it and hided it, you could use this to try and hide this sort of content and not get banned for it. It's actually what Mr. Medica was doing, not because he was kind of trying to post this sort of content at all, but it was what he was doing so he wouldn't get reported. He would do his live streams, then he would delete or private the video so that he could continue to keep the super chat revenue, but not face the consequences of being mass reported by the leagues of people that were going after him.
Go check it out. If it has gone private, it confirms that Nuxtaku knows about this video. After the success of this hentai video series, it soon became the core focus of Nux's content for years to come. By December 2019, he reached 1 million subscribers. In 2020, he was collaborating with some of the biggest creators on the platform and filming their reactions to adult animations or comics, often involving characters of a questionable age.
There is an asshole door, so it's a woman with her ass out, and this one's like an anal key. And Ash Ketchum is well, at least a young Ash Ketchum seems to be approaching it.
No.
And he uses what's called the fist dash, it seems, to gain entry.
Oh, wow. Is this made for you? Yeah, I think it's gone now. So now he's
What the
free
fuck
here
is
with
actually
the
going on?
nukes.
Oh no. She's quivering.
Oh my god! What? I didn't experience that, no!
Given his size as a creator, Moist Critical actually appeared in Nuxtaku's videos surprisingly frequently. He used to be a part of something Nuxtaku called the Hentai Gang, and they would react to various hentai clips.
Wait, who is in this hentai gang?
He used to be a part of something Nuxtaku called the Hentai Gang.
So you've got Moist Critical, Charlie, Nuxtaku. I think this is Project Melody. I guess this is who they're reacting. So it's just 3 people. Why would any self-respecting YouTuber want to sign up for this? There is a place for degeneracy, I think. I know this is going to sound so controversial, but like the reality is that when you're like with your friends, you talk about degenerate things from time to time. And I mean, it's a part of life, I guess. But the context and the situation matters. Like, you don't have the adult conversation before the kids go to bed, for example. The problem is that a lot of these YouTubers, I mean, I don't think Project Melody, I think of Project Melody specifically. I think she's like one of the first hentai VTubers. I'm not sure. I remember there being some controversy, which is why I know the name. If this isn't there, then I don't know. Like, the thing that a lot of YouTubers either neglect to mention or they just like are sweeping under the rug intentionally is that a lot of their audiences will be younger. Is this drama now? I mean, I don't know if you'd call it drama. It's like, it's pretty incriminating shit. Like I said, I don't think it's going to affect Nux's career very seriously though, because like the fact of the matter is a lot of his audience isn't going to give a shit. I mean, they're probably fine with it. It was perfectly fine going what was going on in their Discords, which is, again, it hasn't come up yet, but it will. So why would this now be being exposed now make them change their opinions? The thing is, you need to ban anyone underage in the site. No debate, no quibble. You either have an adult Discord or you have an all ages Discord. I don't think that adults should be interacting with children on Discords for any reason. I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think that's a pretty safe statement to make. Children in general should not be on Discord, probably. Now, yeah, it's like, oh my goodness, boomer rages against new technology, whatever. There is no reason for an adult YouTuber to be talking to an underage fan in private. You know, if it's like, if you're an actual good, wholesome boy Markiplier or something, and you're at a fan convention and a child comes up to you with their parents or, you know, whatever, or in public, plain view, that's fine. That's fine. There is no reason for that child to be talking to Markiplier in public. I mean, sorry, in private. You know, not that I was saying that he would, I'm just like, for example. But for some reason, these YouTubers think that they can just like, well, there's nothing wrong with just talking to all these kids in private. Like, what are you talking about? even if it's a person of upstanding morals, they should just not be in this situation. There is no reason. There's no real tangible benefit for this. And I think YouTubers just have to start accepting this. Like, I know this is going to destroy the Minecraft community, but you just can't have these private spaces to interact with them. To be honest, adults shouldn't be using Discord either. I mean, you can use Discord if you want, but like, and like I've got a Discord, but we did have some growing pains with that as well. Like I did actually have a not suitable for work segment at first, but I thought that would just be for funny stuff. But then people actually started posting porn, so I deleted it and said like, look, this is for just stuff that's not suitable for work. No porn allowed. I had to set that rule very clearly. The problem with like a laissez-faire attitude is that people just take it to the 9th degree and they try and test the limits of it. This always happens, and it's very sad to see, because we can't have our base libertarian paradise because people just can't stop being retards. They just have to push the limits. They have to do it. They can't help it. But like, it's a good reminder to know that everything on Discord is archived, and everything that happens on like, not mine, I mean every Discord, and everything you've ever sent on Discord, every message will be one day available in some massive leak. So just, you should use Discord with that knowledge. Don't say anything on Discord you're not happy being read out loud in a public space.
And they would react to various hentai clips together.
Oh god, this is good stuff. We got full color, snuff, guro, torture, amputee. All the wholesome tags.
Sounds good, let me see that shit.
Nuxtaku also deployed a very aggressive clickbait strategy. Showing some bikini ladies wasn't enough. He needed cropped hentai, bestiality, and lolly. Despite having displayed this content in his videos and thumbnails for years, Nuxtaku has consistently denied being into it, but he also claims he doesn't believe enjoying it makes you a pedophile.
There are 3 levels here, okay? There's lollies, which I have absolutely nothing against. I don't think anyone has anything against lollies, okay? Like chibi-doki.
If you're gooning to Lolicon, you are a pedophile in my opinion. Like, if there's like some character that's like kind of like childish or whatever, that, and it's just like a cute, like, oh, that's adorable, that's fine, whatever, it's a cartoon, I don't give a shit. But if you're actually like, oh, this is a lot, this is my jam, this is what I'm gonna go back, like, if you're that sort of person, then you're absolutely a pedophile.
Or Megumin from
the fucking term though is like, it's so vague though these days, like for Rebecca in Cyberpunk is described as a lolly. Well, clearly she is not, she's like an adult. But if you have a character that's like, looks like a child, acts like a child, is described as a child, and there's someone going out of their way saying like, this is my waifu, this is who I'm gooning to, that person's absolutely a pedophile.
Nasuba or Gura, nothing has anything against lollies. It's lolly that's the gray zone.
Nuxtaku would begin to signal anti-lolicon sentiments in 2022, causing drama between him and Rev Says Desu.
They couldn't believe the guy who has used lolly-related content in his thumbnails videos, and the same guy who's openly befriended lolicons, followed and praised lolicons on Twitter, could be making such a statement under glaring hypocrisy.
I don't like Rev, but they are making a sound point.
Have you seen your thumbnail? This thumbnail, lolly likers are pedos. This is in quotes, like it's something I actually said.
It's a pretty reasonable inference of your position based on the content of your tweet.
I did not say this. I didn't even say this a little. Not even a little. And this dude's like, oh, dude, we're gonna make this thumbnail. So, dude, when it comes to thumbnails, you can be quiet.
Instead of engaging, Nuxtaku acts incredulous that how could someone possibly be saying this?
Then he goes on this whole rant. He's like, dude, you should have your legs broken in because you like lollies. See, you have Gura in the thumbnail. Like, dude, what is going on? What is going on? So, constantly taking me out of context, constantly making me look like a hypocrite for things that I've never been.
I mean, Nuxtaku is a hypocrite, though. He very clearly is. And it's going to get only more obvious as you go through this. But he's also a retard. Like, I forgot to mention this earlier, but like there's actually two things I knew about Nux Taku. The first, obviously, is his AdSense being registered in Israel, which is not relevant. It's just funny detail that I know. The second is he's actually just like a retard engagement farmer generally. He may also be into this weirdo shit. But he definitely exposed these children to very adult material in his private discords. But like he's just a straight up retard. Like he'll just see this most retarded things and post them and just say it's true. And this is one thing that's very annoying with YouTube as a whole, but I mean, people just get away with it. Like he literally thought that the Prime Minister of Japan was marching in these like 200 group nationalist rallies, which is just not true. He just literally read on Twitter and is like, oh my God, the Japan situation is crazy. The Japanese Prime Minister is marching. Like, I was just like, oh, fucking, this guy's been following those Kotaku, what is it? Colonel Otaku Gatekeeper post or some shit.
About
Nux's response to Rev was set to private around the time of the post-Nux Clarity incident.
This would be really funny if they added in that like smiling friends thing, which is like, I love kids, Charlie, I love kids.
Despite his history, in early 2024, Nuxtaku had no problem calling Vosh a pedophile for flashing his lolly horse folder on stream for a couple seconds. Meanwhile, he had his own...
I mean, I would say it's very fair to say that. Like, if Vaush is very clearly gooning to this lolicon material, then he is a pedophile. And if it's good for the goose, it's good for the gander.
Own horse folder on his public YouTube channel. He also forgot to censor the contents of Vosh's folder in his coverage. Old habits die hard, I guess.
I am the one that gets canceled daily for being a gooner on Twitter, by the way. And I have never saved a porn image.
One of the more shocking images in Vosh's folder depicted a lolicon VTuber that Nux had reacted to.
16 is high school. No! Wait, high schoolers aren't lollies. I agree. Lollies are 1,000-year-old cum vampires. I agree. Yeah, great intro. Everyone, hey everyone, meet Natsuhiro Matsuri, extremely wholesome VTuber. Also, she likes talking about lollies. Nothing weird here at all. Oh god, this rabbit hole goes deep.
She just said she's into 10 to 12-year-olds, and Nux does not push back in any serious manner. He then proceeds to react to her content for 20 more minutes.
That was a great video, damn!
Nux clearly had no problem with lolly content, and he was happy to pander to lolicons for years. To return to Nuxtaku's thumbnails, I've seen comments under some videos mention him changing them, but that early version has not been captured on the Wayback Machine. In the case of this thumbnail, there are low-resolution captures of the early versions, which depict a woman indulging in self-exploration, censored only by this incrementally growing emoji. Whenever these old thumbnails arouse controversy, Nuxtaku goes to quietly censor them. He was clearly maximizing the amount of adult content he could show without getting in trouble with YouTube, and he would use various tricks to...
He's like literally edging towards the level of acceptable content to see what he can get away with. And it's very effective. I won't lie and say it isn't. Not that I do that, but like, I mean, clearly as everybody knows that if you have an attractive woman or a sexualized image in your thing, you're more likely to click on it.
Dodge demonetizations and age restrictions.
How is this even allowed on YouTube? Well, it's not. This is the point: is he's finding ways to get around and bend the rules. And one of the ways that he's already done this is by either changing it at a later date, trying A/B testing with increasingly more provocative or less provocative, as the case may vary, and also by Nux's own words, by uploading it and deleting it very quickly before anyone takes notice of it. If you report something, it takes like a long time for, like 24 hours, 48 hours sort of thing at the very minimum. For it to get noticed by an actual person. Usually a lot of the AI is now being set to... a lot of the moderation is now set to AI, so that's who does it. But hypothetically, you can get away with like a lot of like heinous shit on YouTube for several hours to like a day. So if you just upload them and quietly remove it or private it or delete it, you can absolutely get away with quite a bit.
Word Shota is is blacklisted on YouTube big time. When I made my video talking about the Shota thing, Shota trending on Twitter, I spelled it with a U, and it gets past the censors. I took out the U, instantly demonetized. Added in the U, turns green again.
I assume the context is going to be out of here. Shota is like young boy, basically. It's the male equivalent to lolly.
Dude, I'm telling you, YouTube is run by idiots. Evil idiots, but idiots nonetheless.
He would use special characters in titles and euphemistically refer to adult content as being cultured or wholesome. If a parent saw a title like, "I showed cultured clips to normie YouTubers" in their child's browser history, it would hardly stand out as a hentai reaction video. Many of these videos originally had far more explicit titles, but Nux Taku has gone back to censor them later. There are also many videos that are no longer available.
It's a pretty old trick though, like people have been doing that for the longest time.
Taku wasn't only exposing his audience to adult content, he was directing them to it. Leaving the titles of these adult animations visible on screen was not an oversight or an accident.
I love how people ask me for the sauce. I have the title in the screen, people. That's why I don't make them full screen, so you can always find the sauce.
The source, or the source, being the origin of the adult content. Whenever he showed porn in his videos or thumbnails, the comments were full of requests for the source. Some would name the artist, or name the individual work. Others would even post direct links, most of which have been...
Didn't you use the term cultured a lot? I mean, yes, you did, but there's also a level of memetic like language that goes on here. Like you just sort of get like words that get used a lot, like unk, for example. It's like one of the trending words recently to describe anyone that's old like me that can't figure out how the fuck my camera's working. Now, like again, like I said, with a lot of these nikandros videos, and one of my criticism for them is that they start off with a lot of like seemingly like there's a very slow burn. The last 30 minutes of this is when they get into the real serious stuff with the discords. But it is kind of interesting to see the entire picture here. Because like when we were talking about this on Friday, before Max distracted me, and we found the CEO of sexual harassment. That's what you missed on the Friday stream. We were talking about that part, yeah.
Automatically deleted. Some of them still remain, linking to an image tagged with lolly and imminent rape, because Nux Taku used it in his thumbnail. Nux Taku would sometimes pin these source posts, encouraging these ecosystems of
because like, where is he getting them from? I mean, obviously, the question was just answered. It's from a porn website. But it means he's going out his way to find these provocative thumbnails and then send them in just enough way to get the maximum attention.
Sharing in his comments. He's actually acknowledged this phenomenon in his videos.
Half my comment section in the previous episode of the Hentai Gang was all about, where can I find this door one?
Alright, so...
It really isn't hard to find.
Okay, Charlie.
Yeah, it's super easy to find if you just type in, like...
Very cool, Charlie.
Comes up almost immediately, because I didn't remember the name during the episode. That's all I typed in and found it in almost instantly.
Thanks for the instructions.
Yeah, I mean, Nikandros is very logical in the way that he outlines all of this, and it's very... It's like... Damn it, my brain is like melting out of my ears and into my shoes. It's very methodical, is what I wanted to say. And it does definitely build a bigger case towards Nux Taku being involved in early porn introduction, or what is that, EPI? Which is kind of like the thesis of this video when he gets to the Discord stuff, because that's when he's showing that they're actually being exposed to legitimate adult material, gore, and interacting with these adults that are very much having sexualized conversations in the public channels, where they have actual children saying like, I'm a child, what is this, like what is going on here, I'm about to go to school, can you, sort of thing.
On how to find that hentai comic online. As you can see, talking about, exhibiting, and directing people
Doesn't the algorithm reward longer videos these days? Yes and no. It rewards watch time. So if you have a 10-second video that's watched once, and an hour-long video that's watched once, obviously the 1 hour video is rewarded more than the 10-second video. However, not necessarily someone's going to watch an hour. So it's the effective watch time that is rewarded. So if you have a 10-second video, you can have a longer watch time than a 1 hour video, provided enough people are watching it. But it just kind of boils down to your retention, essentially. Now, if you have a very good long video or a very long podcast with thousands and thousands of people watching, yes, that does get very well rewarded on YouTube. Like if you get like a live stream, an hour long, 100,000 views, that is almost worth the same, I mean, in some cases, as getting like 500,000 views or something crazy. Like it can be quite, maybe not to that extent, but it's quite wild in some cases.
Adult media was a core part of Nux's content and the community around it. Now, YouTube is again a 13+ website, just like Twitch. So Nux Taku was making this content available to minors. But did it appeal to them? You've seen enough of his presentation to know that his audience was hardly above the age of 18. If you're putting on this kind of PewDiePie voice, you're not looking for an adult audience. Given his previous focus on anime.
It's actually like, I was wondering what was up with Nux Taku's voice. I was like, this is so familiar. What does it remind me of? It is very much like PewDiePie's voice.
anime. Nuxtaku's audience would already trend towards being pretty young, but it wasn't young enough. He would imitate the thumbnail style of channels like Game Theory, which is very popular with children, and make lots of other content trying to attract MatPat's attention. He eventually succeeded and collaborated with not just MatPat, but also PewDiePie and Markiplier.
This is a very dangerous game, in not just morally, but what did he actually? I can't imagine Markiplier actually collaborating with. Like, is that real or is that just fake? What's it going on to say? This is a very dangerous game courting this demographic because they're actually not a very monetizable. Like if you're just trying to get money from ad revenue, younger demographics aren't very valuable because they don't have a lot of disposable income unless you're specifically shilling like toys or something. Because maybe the parents see it and they want to buy it. But like if you even have if YouTube starts to decide that your content is like being directed towards too younger people, they will actually put it into the YouTube Kids safe space. So this is a very fine line he's like dancing on.
Except he didn't. These are just misleading clickbait thumbnails. However,
oh wait, so he did. He just did straight up lie and fake these ones. That makes me sense. I'm so happy that Markiplier is actually like a good boy. Like I'll be so sad if it turns out that Markiplier has done anything wrong. Because it seems like he's just the one good YouTuber. Like nobody has anything critical to say about Markiplier, except that I guess if he stayed in North Korea with his family, instead of escaping, maybe they could have taken over and defeated Kim Jong-il or some shit.
If you attract MatPat's attention, he eventually succeeded and collaborated with not just MatPat, but also PewDiePie and Markiplier.
All right, so what do you say? The Ultimate Game Theory game show featuring MatPat. I finally collaborated with PewDiePie update. I mean, this is pretty, this is incredibly, incredibly sus, but no, sus is not the right word. Manipulative, cheap, pathetic. Like actually lying and saying I collaborated with MatPat, that is some bullshit there.
Except he didn't. These are just misleading clickbait thumbnails. However, if you were a fan of one of these massive channels with very young audiences, and you were tricked into clicking on one of these videos, your recommendations would fill up with stuff like this. This combo of factors that would drive this content to a young audience would not be...
It's actually very sneaky, now that I think about it. Because if you do watch one video, you get suggested that person's content over and over again. Everybody knows this. Like you got to find one video of how to fix a toilet, and then for next month you've got toilet content being like, oh, the illustrious toilet section of YouTube. Oh my goodness, how do I fix a clogged drain? So that's really, really sneaky. Actually, now that I think about it, even as a content distribution strategy, I haven't even thought about that. That is sus as fuck.
Complete without Nuxtaku's favorite rule, that being Rule 34.
And if you're not familiar with the term Rule 34, it's a term and website talking about how if anything exists, there is porn of it.
Nuxtaku being obsessed with it is a meme by itself. He was making videos about Pokemon, anime, and other children's IPs while using Rule 34 of them as clickbait, or as the subject of the entire video. The most popular video on his second channel was a reaction to a viral Animal Crossing adult animation with very minimal censorship. There are small blurs around the genital areas, but you could still make out what's going on. What implication? And what's funny about it? When this animation came out, it became a viral meme, and a bunch of...
Oh yeah, this was that stupid Animal Crossing, Egyptian cat. I never played Animal Crossing.
It's on TikTok where, as Nuxtaku says, doing the things or doing the dance. In other words, publishing media of themselves for anyone in the world to see, in which they are replicating moves from an adult animation they had been exposed to. Very understandably, some people considered this to be a risk to those children's safety.
This is currently the most concerning trend on TikTok.
Is it really the most concerning trend on TikTok? There's literally a trend right now called devious licks, where people break into schools or are in schools and steal stuff, like hand sanitizer and fire alarms and toilet seats. They just rip them off the toilets.
I'm not really that concerned about people stealing hand sanitizer from schools. In fact, I could probably give two shits about that.
There's a trend on TikTok right now. No, this is the most disturbing trend on TikTok. All right, dude.
What's worse? Children being at risk of being exploited, or children stealing toilet seats?
More and more TikTokers have started to recreate that dance, and it's got people concerned. Basically,
stealing a toilet seat is actually probably a public service, because then you can't get the AIDS from the toilet seats, right?
People are afraid that the dance is going to get really popular, and kids are going to start coming on the app and doing it and get targeted by predators.
This is actually this is actually something that does happen, though. This isn't just a joke. Adults, specifically, this is one of the things we're talking about, is the early porn introduction is targeted towards children. the reason that these people do this is through either some sort of fucked up mentality they have where they want to corrupt innocence, or because they want to eventually groom these people into doing sexualized acts or sending them sort of illicit materials. So this is a very big concern. Yes, adults do try and do things that encourage children to do things that they're going to collect and then share in these weird like circles that they have. So this is actually a very big concern. And TikTok in particular is a pretty bad place for predators. I mean, you've got Minecraft, Roblox, TikTok, Discord, all of these places are like, just the internet was a mistake. That's all we can say, really.
No one's afraid of that. All right, maybe I'm not around TikTok enough, and I don't understand the ecosystem.
My friend got busted for taking the entire computer lab in high. Like, he took every computer in the computer lab. I'm not even mad with that. That's kind of impressive. Like, how did he, like, in one shot?
But I don't think that people are afraid of kids being targeted by predators because they're doing a dance, okay? Kids are targeted by predators on TikTok for freaking breathing crooked. I don't think this dance is gonna push anyone over the edge, but that's just me.
A child that is publicly self-reporting as having been exposed to adult content is absolutely more likely to be targeted. It means that their internet access is unrestricted and likely unsupervised. They're an easy target.
So if you happen to see any kids on your For You page doing this dance, please nicely encourage them to stop.
Nicely encourage them to stop is just sending hate mobs in nicer words.
This guy could be a total grifter in his own right, but nothing about what he's saying here should be controversial. It's basic, common sense, internet child safety. But Nuxtaku takes it as some existential threat, which makes sense when you think about what he's doing for 2 seconds. He's regularly uploading content sexualizing children's cartoon characters onto a 13+ platform.
Do I dare say it?
He takes it as some existential threat, which makes sense when you think about what he's doing for 2 seconds. He's regularly uploading content sexualizing children.
See, Pokemon Rule 34 has gone too far, and you have a Hypno now. So I went like the Hypno rapist meme is so ingrained in, like, I guess Rule 34 communities. I went to a cosplay festival in Nagoya, and there was literally someone dressed up as raping Hypno, and there was an angel woman was crying when I saw it. Do I show you this? Do you guys want to see this? It's just a guy dressed up in the Hypno compass who's going around with his hypnosis thing to all the women at the thing. It was very funny, but kind of when you think about the implications, pretty rough.
Children's cartoon characters onto a 13+ platform. Characters designed to appeal to children and more likely to be recommended to children. If you look at this video's comments, you see dozens of children explicitly reporting their ages, many of them being under 13. These are not adults pretending to be children as a joke. I've seen what's on their channels. They are uploading videos of themselves onto their channels.
I have no clue what Hypno rape is. Probably the best. Probably the best. What? I have not cosplayed. Okay, I've dressed up in a costume before. I haven't cosplayed. But I do go to some of the cosplay events that are around my area because it's pretty good for getting B-roll and stuff. And just for like, oh, Japan's so crazy. Look at these costumes. It's just it's a Pokemon with the ability to hypnotize people.
And then leaving public comments under Nuxtaku's videos for anyone in the world to see. There are thousands of comments like this scattered all over Nuxtaku's backlog, some new, some old, but many of them are from children who are still minors. Nuxtaku obviously doesn't directly control who watches his videos, or what they upload onto their channels, but
I mean, I'd say that's a fair point. But there's also, like, you kind of choose the bait that you're using to catch whatever you're, like, every YouTuber tries to bait you with something. And what audience are you trying to engage with? What audience are you trying to bait with? And if you're putting out sexualized images of anime, which is primarily focused at children, you're going to be detracting a lot of that audience.
He was choosing to upload this content onto a 13+ platform where it was
weird
available.
How sex is now spelled a grape in 2026. It's kind of like, I mean, it is cringe. And I believe that, like, in many ways, the beginning of wisdom is calling everything by its true name. But at the same time, if you say one naughty word too many times on YouTube, they do demonetize you. So there's a financial incentive to use these other words. People in the chat just copy what YouTubers are saying because it's like a mimetic thing. It's just like it's like an earworm. It gets into the lexicon and people start using it. The only reason YouTubers do it, or people making content on Twitch do it, or any platform is purely because we don't want the AI to give us a yellow tick, because then all of our, like, the entire endeavor that we're putting out is just completely demonetized. And it is what it is.
children. If you make content about sex and porn available to children, you're going to receive comments about sex and porn from children. If you look at the audience retention graph...
If you're adult only, you can't make money, though. That's not true. Like, you can make money. Like, I don't think there's even anything necessary. I mean, it's a gray area. But I definitely think that adults should be allowed to make adult content for adults. But that's the caveat to that is it's adult content. It's when you're marketing this to children, which is what clearly is happening here, that it becomes an issue. Language whoring, got it. Bye-bye monies. I think YouTube has actually gotten laxer. Maybe they've either gotten... There's a couple of theories about this, like either YouTube has gotten laxer or they're just demonetizing you and not telling you. And they're just leaving it as a green tick and you just never know. It's like... I mean, to use a Simpsons reference, it's like when they replaced all the traffic lights in Springfield with just the red and yellow traffic lights because the green ones don't really matter because everyone just goes fast when it's yellow anyway.
You can see that barely anyone is watching this video for Nux Taku's commentary. All of the attention is hyper-focused on the segment where the adult animation is shown. Who do you think is watching it over and over again? Any adult could just go and watch the uncensored animation elsewhere. However, to the children who cannot access adult websites, this is the most easily available and the least censored version of the animation that they can find. Here is a comment from a child saying that they can't access the uncensored animation because of parental controls. This child's parents did not want them to be exposed to this kind of media, but Nux Taku's content enabled it to happen anyway. Nux Taku knows that YouTube doesn't want that content on its platform, and he was actively reverse engineering the site's moderation in order to continue uploading this content without getting age restricted. He was so successful at it.
Like, again, in an instance, I think you can do this, like using certain language to get around these word filters is fine, provided you are, again, not marketing your material, which is not suitable for children to children. Like, if you're just trying to, like, if you use the word corn or grape to try and talk about an adult topic with an adult audience, I don't have a problem with that at all. And in fact, we all do it. Like, clearly I do it too. I want to get away from it. I just want to get back to calling words what they are. But I mean, again, I do have a financial incentive not to do that. So it's tempting. But if you're specifically like, but the thing is that like when I do that, this is the difference. This is the key difference with most YouTubers is the reason they're doing it is specifically because they want to get paid for what they're doing because everybody loves money. I especially love money. In this instance, it seems that Nux Taku is doing it not only for the love of money, but also to attract a young audience that will be more susceptible to this sort of material.
Even if you enable restricted mode and the parental control filters, videos like this would still be visible on his channel. With the same video, where Nux Taku was shitting on this guy for caring too much about child safety, he was contributing to and profiting from all of the issues that the guy was raising awareness of.
Alright, Mr. Noah, I don't know you, and you seem like a decent man. John 3:16, my man. He's a man of the people.
So do we have him engaging with minors? If so, FBI report. There's a part 2 to this, hasn't been released yet, but at the very least, Nux Taku was knowingly promoting children to use his Discord when they were obviously minors, children. I mean, it's kind of redundant to say that. He was engaging in conversations with minors of a sexual, well, not like privately, but in a public space. That's why they have records of this. Is why they have the chat logs. I mean, it's going to come up in like the next few minutes, actually. So we can just wait and see.
It's absolute legend. I didn't even notice that before.
Like, I want to say this video's title was changed. So yeah, it was. It was originally called something else. Like, it's now called Exposing Nux Taku's Early Porn Introduction Empire, Part 1. So Part 2 should be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that. The original title of this video, I think, was Nux Taku Ruined a Child's Life for $46. Because at one point, a 14-year-old asked Nux Taku to make a specific, not suitable for work, porn tab for him to use, and Nux Taku obliges after he gets paid.
Don't quote Bible verses in your bio, dude. What? John 3:16 is... For God so loved the world that he gave his own forgotten son, that whoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. Alright, gamers. Yeah, alright. If I see that in the bio, I'm gonna... Alright, dude.
Fighting for court was not the moneymaker for Nux Taku at the time. The real moneymaker was running Rule 34 tournaments and networking with massive creators.
What I did today is I gathered 8 YouTubers, put them in a tournament bracket format, and had them battle it out, where they each select different fictional characters, and based on the amount of entries they have on Rule 34, They are stronger choices.
Not only are these videos just flagrant celebrations of degeneracy and hedonism,
You know what makes me really uncomfortable about this? Is the fact that we know that Nux is making this video while having a massive erection.
Yes! I mean, no.
they are entirely based around the promotion of an explicit adult website full of adult content of children's characters. The website appreciated the attention and promoted Nux Taku's videos in exchange.
My last video that, like, I used Rule 34, they actually posted my video on the homepage of the website, so in their honor, you know.
If you want to do these competitions with your adult friends, that's totally fine. What isn't fine is uploading these competitions onto a 13+ platform, in which you're promoting an adult website full of thousands of images sexualizing children's cartoon characters. Because of its animated nature, hentai is already much less intimidating to children than photographic adult content. If you're also using characters that are designed to appeal to children, are already familiar to children, and are attached to brands that the algorithm will push to children, you are basically maximizing the potential of your content to introduce children to adult media at even younger ages.
I mean, this is the entire theory behind ElsaGate, or the Spider-Man Elsa pregnant videos, is they were using things that would have an visceral response in children, as Spider-Man Elsa popular characters, and with taboo topics like pregnancy, injections, toilet humor, like all these sort of things. It's an effective strategy. Like I said, it kind of short circuits the attention wires that children haven't built up the resistance to yet. And they clearly do it for that reason, which is why that the entire YouTube Kids exists, is because the people like this that were doing this weird content, and they did it very lucratively, to the point where, like, this is actually one of these early Ethan H3HU videos. He was kind of exposing this. It's very interesting, like the depths of the dark side of YouTube, because it was actually the same people that Ethan from H3 had exposed many years ago, like the prank community, like Ethan Bradbury and his brother. I can't remember. They're both Bradburys. They literally transitioned from doing YouTube prank content to making pregnant Spider-Man Elsa videos. And when they called them out about it, when Ethan called them out about this, they kind of flexed on them just how much money they were making and how many mansions they had, because they were making money hand over fist, millions and millions of dollars, making this really weird content where, like, Spider-Man, Joker, and Elsa run around, slapping each other on the ass and injecting each other with giant syringes.
I have already shown
Was it
that this
Vitali?
was...
I don't think it was Vitali. Was it? I think it was prankster content. It wasn't Vitali, I think. Like, Vitali's a pretty nasty dude, but I don't want to say that it was Vitali, just off the top of my head. I know it was the Bradburys.
Undeniably.
The Dow is over $50,000. Or is it 50,000 points? I don't know. I don't have any Dow money, okay? This doesn't affect me. I actually did when I was in university. This is kind of like the only exposure I've ever had to the Dow, because I'm going to be honest, like, for the most of my life, I had no idea what it was. When I was in university, I would draw comics. And they were like a parody of comics. It was called Cat Picture Daily. And it was literally like just like a Garfield sort of with stupid humor that I thought was sort of thing. And one of them I have my cat, and he's like very shadowy. He's got like a very like sinister looking face, and he's just drinking a glass of wine. And he's like, the Dow was down again, I see. And there was no punchline. It was just like absurdist, like, you know, random access humor. But my girlfriend at the time was a big cat fan, so I would just draw these cat pictures, these cat comics daily for her. Every day that we were in class together, I was just, oh, listen, another cat picture daily, and it's like just the cat is like, the Dow's down 10 points or something. I was actually pretty proud of that comic. I think I've got it somewhere. It's pretty good. It's like dark. It's like there's a dark room and the person's opening the door and the light's coming out, and the light is being cast at the cat's face, who's very sad about the Dow being down. But I'm going to be honest, I'm a brainlet when it comes to investing. So I don't know. Is this good? Is it good? The Dow is over 50,000 and the Epstein files. What? I don't know. Maybe if chat is good, I'll show them some Cat Picture Daily comics from my archive.
Of Nux's content.
I'm the new EVS. No, because I actually delivered on my comics. I put them out daily. Okay. I didn't have to wait. My girlfriend didn't have to wait 5 years to get a new Cat Picture Daily. The Cat Picture Daily was released 9 a.m. on the dot every day that I was in class. Okay.
But I can't say that it was his intent. However, I can demonstrate that it was absolutely undeniable that Nux Taku knew that children were watching his content. The descriptions of his videos used to explicitly label them as PG-13. This disclaimer can even be found on the monkey comic video. That is
it's kind of a redundant thing to have when YouTube itself is PG-13, but okay.
Explicit admission that Nux Taku was fine with 13-year-olds seeing this stuff, but we can do better. Months before the monkey comic video and the Animal Crossing video, Nux Taku saw one of his child fans with his own eyes. On October 31st of 2020, he requested his audience to email him the most cursed NSFW videos or memes for a chance to win $1,000. No limit on how horrible it is. Despite requesting NSFW content, the announcement does not list a minimum age, so Nux Taku was giving a financial incentive to minors to find the worst NSFW content they could. After a day, he'd already received thousands of submissions. He would review these submissions a month later in a video with Oompaville and Iron Mouse.
I've never even pondered the thought that we could have Lolly and Guro and Bondage all in one thing. That's amazing.
Oh my god.
Among those submissions was a video that one of Nux Taku's child fans had recorded of themselves.
This is interesting. Like, does Iron Mouse have like this hidden evil past or something? I don't know very much about Iron Mouse. It's just that she's always collaborating with that Connor guy who lives in Japan. I do know that she's like a mama, right? Like she's got like she's like a single mum with like a, I want to say like adult / teenager child, but they pretend that she pretends that it's her sister so that people think that like she doesn't have a kid or something. I don't know. Maybe Iron Mouse is based. I don't know. I'm very naive when it comes to the VTubers. Female VTuber equals evil. I mean, she does a lot of charity work. I can't blame her for that. Like she's like doing the plasma drives and things. I know that.
Oh, what? Bro.
I don't even know what that was.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
It would be really funny not to provide the full context.
Oh, what? Bro.
If you're scared of getting sued.
There's a harmful opinions. He's going to be showing up later in the video too.
The move.
That was some kid just sent you a video of them shitting and then shooting a dog with a Nerf gun.
Wait, what the fuck?
But I'll do so anyway. It's not CSAM. It's some little boy farting into their phone camera. Then they shoot at their dog with a Nerf gun. There's no nudity, and you can't even see their face. However, they are clearly a child, and based on the size of their hand, a very young one at that. There's also no sign of Nuxtaku getting parental consent to publish this video. So he's published a video of someone's child without consent and mixed it in with a bunch of reactions to Lolly Bondage Guro comics.
Oh my god.
This competition was not a one-time thing. It was a whole series, and the total number of emails they received in the end was around 10,000. Whether he intends it or not...
I want to go back for a second. So we got the VC of PewDiePie, Nuxtaku, and Mr. Beast. Was this just another, like... incredibly cringe if these people weren't actually in his video.
And the total number...
But like, the thing is, nobody ever calls these people out. I mean, there's never any consequences for these sort of lying and things. This is why Logan Paul keeps getting away with as much things that he does, which is ridiculous. Is it Logan Paul or is it Jake Paul? I don't know. They're the same person. It doesn't matter. They're like, they're exactly the same person. The recent scandal is quite interesting, actually, because he's actually committing fraud, like serious levels of fraud, where he sold his Pikachu card to this like scam website that he made, and 51% of it was belonged to the users. He then bought it back without paying them any money, so they got scammed. Then he sold his Pikachu card again for $60 million recently, which again was another big scam. But all those people just got like rug pulled, and then he announces his next rug pull company on the same stream. But the people are so retarded that they're going to buy into it again. I don't even know if I should feel sorry for them. Anyone that invests in like Hucktua coin, Logan Paul coin, like all these things, they deserve what they get. I don't think they deserve any sympathy. You know what? Actually, Logan Paul's based because he's taking advantage of people that deserve to be taken advantage of, because they're retarded.
Emails they received in the end was around 10,000. Whether he intends it or not, by showing this video, Nuxtaku is signaling to the children in his audience that they are welcome to participate. In the rest of the series, Nuxtaku shows lots of adult websites and links to them fully uncensored. Not only that, there are many instances in these videos where Nuxtaku fails to hide...
Now it's actual FTC, what is it? Fair Trading Commissions, or whatever. Actual FTC violations. It is insane how much he gets away with. And it's not even his first time. He's done it 4 or 5 times. He's scammed his audience, and they keep fucking falling for it. So, you know, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, well, they won't get fooled again. The sack, yeah, there you go. There it is.
Names of the people sending these emails. So he has solicited children to send him and now he's doxing them to his audience. But that's besides the point here. Nux Taku absolutely knew that children were not only watching, but engaging with his content and his community. Did that cause him to reconsider his content decisions? No. A couple months later, he released a Twitch song, then the monkey comic video, and then the Animal Crossing video. Not only did he not change, he began criticizing Twitch for exposing minors to adult content, despite exposing minors to far worse things.
So there's a rough outline of the mass child mind poisoning machine that Nux Taku operated and made a ton of money from. We have already seen some of the community interactions in the comments of his videos, but that's only scratching the surface. Let's go back to 2019.
So, the announcement portion of this video is as follows. My favorite of PewDiePie's videos are his Luai videos, where he gets to see how his community memes around his own content. I personally love that style video. How the community itself can come together, because it's not just the YouTuber or the YouTuber's content that's enjoyable.
Can you ever do another Drunken Dino stream? It's unlikely. People don't want them. Guys, like, there's like always like one of those, can you do the dino? Like, we did like 4 dinosaur streams in a row with no support. What do you want from me? Nobody wants the content.
Enjoyable, but it's the idea of this little
We wage quit the dinosaurs. They're not coming back. I mean, different dinosaurs will come back, but not those dinosaurs. Not the Isle dinosaurs, no.
I am creating a Nuxtaku subreddit, which will not be called Nuxtaku because someone already made r/.
In another effort to imitate PewDiePie, in 2019, Nux Taku founded his own subreddit, r/Nuxtaku submissions. Nowadays, it's a hentai dumping ground, but back then, it was full of memes about anime and children's cartoons.
Hey, stop touching weird places. Don't worry about it. It's flat anyway. Destruction 100. Ho ho ho. Huge roast there. That's like the ultimate hentai logic as well.
What is the entertainment value in this? It's just reading what is being said. Does this literally appeal to people that just can't read? I don't understand. Is Nux Taku the Jeremy of like content with like hentai and shit? I mean, Jeremy's also kind of pretty hentai, I guess, these days, since he's sharing cuck porn on live streams.
But this is Nux Taku we're talking about, so there were also posts about hentai. For several years, the Reddit had no moderation other than Nux Taku, and on one occasion in 2020, the Reddit was spammed full of hentai.
There were thousands, nay, tens of thousands of posts of Sakura hentai.
The Reddit was also not marked as 18+, and there was no minimum age listed in the rules.
Forgive me, Lord, but I did it. Please forgive me. Stop sending gentai. Why? I already lost No Nut November. Half of my class saw Aqua's butthole on my screen. To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
The OP of this post was 12 years old.
To be fair, mad respect for sending Aqua's butthole. And your class should be thankful.
They are literally talking about a class in that post. There is no reason not to assume they might be a minor. And had Nux Taku checked their profile when the screenshot was taken, he would have seen this comment. This child was not a one-time poster. Between October 2019 and August 2020, they made 160 posts to the Reddit. Many of them appear in Nux Taku's videos, sometimes back-to-back. So Nux Taku was profiting from their presence on the Reddit, and the attention he gave to their posts would encourage them to continue engaging with his community. Some of their posts on the Reddit mention depression, some include hentai, and sometimes they would be sharing and requesting.
I think there's a very high overlap between watching hentai and having depression. Which came first, though? That's the real question.
The source. In one of their earliest posts, they mentioned having gotten into weird, kinky shit. In the comments of that post, they shared a story about having been molested. Quick reminder, Nux Taku made money from allowing this person to be present in his community. They had multiple very highly upvoted posts that made it into Nux's videos, and he would sometimes show multiple of them back to back in the same video. The only reason I'm comfortable drawing attention to this user is because the account has been abandoned for years. As far as I know, it was never banned. After going through all of their comments and posts, I was unable to find any connections to other social medias, so they should be anonymous. This was...
I wonder what level of autism goes into this. Like, I don't mean that in a mean way, by the way. I mean that in like a term of endearment. Because like it seems like a lot of Nikandros' videos are very well researched, and he's like always joking about having agents working for him, but I assume he does these by himself. Like, how much research does he do in this one person? It's just because he's in Finland and he's like, I mean, I assume he's in Finland. I don't know for sure. Are the Finnish people just like, they're locked up in the middle of the snowy cabins for like 6 months at a time, and they have nothing better to do than just look up every autistic detail on things? YouTube videos or StarCraft? Because like the world's best StarCraft player is now Finnish too, which is quite crazy.
Also,
they actually found a way to beat the Koreans.
Present in the community. By doing a couple searches, you can find many others openly stating their age. Content creators exploiting the volunteer labor of their audience for content is nothing new, but those spaces have teams of moderators to keep the content age appropriate. When you have a community that includes minors, you would ideally be proactive and lean on the side of caution. As we can see from this announcement on Nux Taku's Discord from January 2022, moderation-wise, the Reddit...
Which is more autistic, dinosaurs or trains? I'm legit unsure. It's absolutely trains. I mean, I'm not sure why this is even a question of it. Like trains, the funny thing about trains is that you can make fun of all sorts of different hobbies, but no one is reviled as much as the foamers for some reason. So there's a reason for that. Like they're a special kind of autist. Like especially in Japan, because Japanese people will always take the side of other Japanese people, except when it comes to the train people. And then they hate train people so much, they will actually take the side of like foreigners over train people. There's a very famous case where a guy was like riding on a bike and like waving his arm up, and he interrupted a train photo. And all the Japanese people were trying to extort him for money or beat him up or something. And then they were trying to like review bomb his restaurant because he had a taco shop. It was on Enoshima. And the Japanese people actually rallied to the defense of this foreigner, saying because they just hated the Toritetsu, which is the train photo people, so much. Trains are neat, though. I like trains. I've got a little train whistle here, in fact. But I think that the trains win every autism party, and there's no even any competition. Every other autistic hobby is just like endearing.
Was totally unattended for years. It doesn't matter whether Nuxtaku knew that dozens of minors were openly posting, sharing, and talking about adult content on his Reddit with adult strangers. As the head of that community, he bears ultimate responsibility for what he allows to happen in it. It was his responsibility to establish rules against this behavior and to enforce them. Even the most basic, common sense rule for an NSFW community was too much to ask. On December 30th of 2021, Nuxtaku would launch his Discord server.
That's right, I opened a public Discord server.
It's funny because the video's title was I Made a Huge Mistake, which is absolutely true and very prophetic.
I swore to myself I would never do it because the degeneracy would be too much, and the degeneracy is already too much. So join that Discord server. It's a public server.
What about the guy who makes... the Japanese guy who makes Gundams out of cockroach exoskeletons? That's actually pretty interesting, though.
It's open. 16 or older, though, please.
I am happy that.
And like, I'll say one more thing on the topic of trains, in that the problem with the train otaku people is that they're outside. They fundamentally have to be outside to be taking pictures of trains, which means their exposure with regular people is much higher than any other hobby. Like the guy that's making Gundams out of cockroach exoskeletons, he's underneath his fridge looking for cockroaches and inside gluing them together. He's not at the train station, pushing old ladies and junior high school kids out of the way or cutting down trees to get better views of trains. He's inside, and every other hobby is basically inside as well.
He has a minimum age rule this time, but setting it to 16 is a massive self-report that he is aware that a large chunk of his audience is underage. It's also highly questionable given his decision to launch the server with a set of NSFW channels, including an NSFW voice channel. To be honest,
like specifically it's one thing to have an NSFW channel, but specifically not suitable for work art that has to be pornography. Chat could just be lewd chat or like, edgy conversations, but memes, again, and hentai specifically with the Guna face, like sweating. It is a place to place, share, and watch pornography. There's no other way to describe these places.
With a set of NSFW channels, including an NSFW voice channel. To be honest, I was surprised that there were NSFW channels when the server rules said 16 and up, because NSFW is supposed to be 18 and up. I mean, if you already watch Nux, fair. To be clear, those channels were supposed to be only for adults. But given the state of Discord's age verification, setting a channel into NSFW mode doesn't really do anything to stop minors.
The appeal of Discord is that everybody else is using it. Like, if it was TeamSpeak or if it was Ventrilo or whatever it was, like, there's always been some sort of service that was useful for chatting in-game. Discord, I find that Discord is very frustrating for many reasons. Specifically that Discord is replacing forums, which might sound like a good thing and like, oh, okay, who gives a shit? But it's like when you're looking for a specific problem, it's almost impossible to find certain things anymore. Like if you're like, how do I fix so-and-so problem with so-and-so something, right? All of that information is now gate-kept, essentially, in Discords where you'll never find it. Whereas previously, if there was some sort of information like that, it would be on a forum and you could just like, oh, well, I can just look at this forum and find the answer to my problem. Or sometimes you'd have to sign up at the very least. But now it's just like this entire sections of internet that are being like stripped away from the for people that are searching for it, which is very, I mean, that's kind of the reason that they can get away with this sort of thing as well, because it's like separated. It's very, very frustrating. But essentially the only appeal of it is that everyone's using it. So whenever there's going to be a good alternative, I feel like Discord can go away very quickly. So it may as well enjoy its time in the sun. This new Discord verification, unironically, may turn a lot of people off to Discord, which is funny because it's allegedly going to solve one of the problems that Discord does have, which is predations of minors. I mean, at one point, I'm kind of happy that they're doing something about it, but we'll have to see how it goes.
From accessing it. All they have to do is lie about their age to Discord. The channels were fortunately removed 6 days after the server was open to the public. The announcement of their removal does mention issues like minors sneaking in by lying about their age. However, the main reason was that having NSFW channels disqualified the server from Discord partnership.
That's an important part because like that means you cannot monetize your Discord server. Now, I know literally nothing about monetization of a Discord server, but it's important to know that that is the reason that they're worried about this. It's not because of the actual exposure. It's because if it was a problem, they wouldn't recreate another Not Suitable for Work channel in the future, which they do. But specifically, it's because they want to get partnerships with Discord.
Users protested. Nux's content already involved a lot of NSFW media, so why not allow people to post it in his community? A staff member responded that the age group of the Billies, that being the name of Nux Taku's fandom, wasn't appropriate for it. So even Nux Taku's Discord staff members knew that a large chunk of his audience were minors. The decision to have NSFW channels on the server was already questionable in the first place, but it becomes even more questionable when you remember that Nux Taku made that predator catfishing video months earlier.
I wanted to make this sort of an educational topic and bring light to an issue that's really big. There's a lot of predators on Discord. Like, a lot.
There's a lot of predators on Discord. Like, a lot.
I hope this statement doesn't come back to haunt him.
How do you make a video raising awareness of Discord predators, but then set up a Discord server which will facilitate adult conversations between adults and minors? But hey, they deleted the NSFW channels quickly, so the problem is solved, right? Not necessarily. Nux Taku shouted out to Discord on December 28th on his Twitch, and December 30th on YouTube. His audience floods in, there's problems with minors showing up in the NSFW channels, and then they find out that having them at all would disqualify them from Discord partnership. Instead of wiping them out instantly, they announce they'll be deleted in 2 days. Why? So that people can pay their respects to a Discord goon channel? I saw a member of the council mention that the users on the NSFW channels set up their own fan NSFW server, which I have to guess the staff allowed them to promote on those channels. I can't confirm that since those channels are now gone, but I saw one user even in the general channel promoting their own NSFW server. So all of those minors who were lying about their age in the first place and accessing the NSFW channel on Nux's server would just get funneled to that fan server instead. Who was moderating it? Who knows? What age verification standards were they going to uphold, assuming the admins are not minors themselves, or even worse, adult predators? There's a lot of those on Discord apparently. I'd like to remind you at this point that Ava Chris Tyson's Discord server was private when the NSFW channels were open in 2018. It was closed when the server was open to the public in January 2019.
And again, like, Nux Taku is a very strong, outspoken person of Ava Chris Tyson when his own Discord was either doing equivalent or worse things than this person.
In Tyson's case, the drama was about Lava.gs, Nathan, and apparently a handful of other minors being present on the server while it was private. The initial accusations made by Prison 42 also included claims of Tyson grooming Lava.gs, but no evidence for that was ever found. The Discord just had NSFW content available to minors. By those standards, Nux Taku's Reddit was already way worse, and his Discord way worse 4 years after Tyson's Discord, when there was more of a general awareness of these issues. Tyson's server apparently still had sexual chats or juvenile banter after it went public, but looking at the kinds of terms that were frequently used on Nux's Discord, there was...
Alright, let's see. So, source, 666, booba, hentai, sex, booba, boobs, and lol. Wait, what is the results for lolly? Almost 600? Wait, there's more results for lolly than there is for boobs? There's almost the same amount for hentai and lolly. I mean, obviously not together. I mean, hopefully not together. That's a bit concerning.
Plenty of that to go around. If NSFW content was now banned from Nux Taku's Discord, how did they handle Nux Taku's NSFW content? If the thumbnails contained NSFW content, the staff members would remove their embeds. Darn Nux using blatantly NSFW thumbnails that stay in the Discord cache after he censors them. Some users would still post NSFW images from Nux's content or the content of his friends, and the staff, despite reacting to them, wouldn't delete them. God damn it, Nux. We're trying to keep the order. In a recent one, he used a thumbnail from an actual porn video. Ah, okay, so Nux again with the nip slip, I see. This is Pokemon-branded Lolly Bestiality in January 2022. According to the Wayback Machine, this thumbnail was left like this for...
Like, nikandros put in this, like... It's kind of funny because he invented his own blurring with hexagons to differentiate the difference between Nux Taku's blurring one. So, like, when Nux Taku's blurring it, it's just the regular blur. but this is specifically showing that this has been blurred by Nikandros himself. We have a beat-off that appears to be raping this poker person. I'm not sure who this is. This Dawn or is this May? I don't know. I stopped watching Pokemon after I, got older, so I don't know. Beat-off big stand is fucking insane. Official Pokemon animation. I'm not sure what's. Never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke.
Months. This is on par with his idea to make Twitch streamers say the N-word. We removed the embed. Nux is pushing the limits, Lamau. What is he pushing the limits of? The thumbnail of his latest video. Then why he do it non-censored then? That's the big question. Here's a bigger question.
He actually was completely uncensored. That's
Nux's audience is too young for his Discord community to have NSFW channels, but most of the people on this server came from Nux's channel.
Didn't Digimon come out before Pokemon? Am I remembering this correctly? It wasn't released. It was released after Pokemon, but I think it was actually made before Pokemon.
Why is the content of that channel too NSFW for the demographic of the Discord? Isn't this massively self-incriminating? Despite having this long history of running communities where minors were exposed to adult content, and that being the very core of his YouTube content for years, in 2024, Nux Taku wasn't only criticizing, but grandstanding over Eva Chris Tyson. He was also putting lollipede into his content before and after he was supposed to confront Shadman for drawing lollipede on September 30th of 2021. However, Nux Taku's numerous lies about his association with Shadman is something for a different video. There's also the V-Shoujo drama to cover, which lots of people think he was in the right about. That is not the case at
What is the V-Shoujo drama? I know that it's a VTubing agency. Can anyone degenerate in the chat expose themselves and tell me what that is about? Which would implicate that they know what the drama is about, but they're a VTuber fan or something. But I'm curious.
At all, but again, different video. It's a real shame because what I'm going to reveal next is likely going to kill his career.
Alright, so this is when the real, the rape, Nikandros has activated the rape button that he has for Mutaha, is now being activated now. So again, the only criticism I would give Nikandros is that he takes his sweet time getting to the point a lot of times. So this is the more damning part of the video.
To imply what I presented earlier isn't already bad enough, but this is just beyond forgiveness. You see, there is another Nux Taku Discord server, even older than his subreddit. I saw an ad for it, which made me very intrigued.
Really help keep my channel afloat. All patrons are invited to the Discord server, where we hang out having a great time, and unlike Tumblr, we have an NSFW section.
Got 'em, boys. They not like us. Alright, so Billy Oki has decided to fall on his sword and tell us that there was a fake outsider pretending to be a V-Shoujo recruiter and Nux was baiting him. But he went way past what he should have done and V-Shoujo peeps backstabbed Nux too. Huh? So there's a fake person pretending to be the company recruiter for girls and Nux was trying to bait him into doing an interview or something? Why is it? Well, I can understand the situation, but I'm not sure why that's drama. Because if someone's just role-playing or LARPing as a V-Shoujo recruiter, they just get a cease and desist or they just ignore them. It should be no problem, right? Ask Legal Mindset? That's actually... I guess he could probably give me a rundown of that. He is into all that.
Welcome to the Nexus, Nux Taku's Patreon Discord. Founded in April of 2018.
I know he covered it, but I can't watch the VTuber stuff. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I know some VTubers, they seem alright. Some I assume are good people, but... Despite how wildly popular and profitable it is to talk about VTuber, I can't do it. It's not for me.
Current state, the server is almost totally inactive. But the NSFW channel is still here. Despite having an NSFW channel, the server's rules mention nothing about a minimum age, and there is nothing about it being 18+ on the Patreon side either. What's special about this community is Nux's level of engagement. He wasn't talking to people on his Reddit, and he kept the interactions on the public Discord to a minimum. However, on the Patreon Discord, at least in 2018-2019, he would actually talk to people, and even hang out in voice chats with them. Here we can actually see him talking with the artist behind his 2019-era character. The original high-resolution files are here as well. This one, where Nux is rubbing his hands, has the file name nux_merchant.png. Very interesting.
That's just entertaining though. I enjoy a good meme. What is the...
Has the file name nux_merchant.png. Very interesting.
Alright, what is this? Yes. Do you have any fan art you made of Nux as the merchant Jew? Because I need it for something. It's entertaining. That's just funny though.
The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start. We can trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018.
All right, this is kind of like the important part. So this red bars, red character, this person is a 14 to 15-year-old. Confirmed minor, and specifically they said they're a minor in the presence of Nux Taku. So the idea that he didn't know that this person was underage is just frankly false.
Where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later. In response to this,
Red... this is why this video, I believe this is the very same video, was originally called Nux Taku ruined a child's life for $48 or some shit, because that's the child paid this $40 and then they received a not suitable for work porn channel in return for this arrangement, which would only be done by Nux Taku because they were the admin of the server.
Raised their Patreon pledge.
And specifically they were asking for it. Increasing to $10 a month because of not suitable for work room. Appreciate it, lol, from Nux Taku. Direct interactions with this person.
Give them a thumbs up. For a brief moment, let me take you to August of 2024. Nuxtaku is finally being pressed about his past content, and he was actually pushed into making a response.
The biggest shock to me to this day entering the broader commentary sphere was the dangers lurking around every corner in regards to children. Children are not safe on the internet. I only became chronically online after high school, but I couldn't imagine what it would do to me if I was in some YouTuber's Discord server at the age of 12 or 14.
Don't you have to be an 18-year-old to have a credit card? In theory, not necessarily. And that doesn't necessarily mean people aren't buying gift cards. It doesn't mean that they aren't using their parents' their present. It doesn't mean that they're not using their parents' gift cards. It doesn't mean that they're using their credit cards, etc. There's all sorts of manner of ways. Like this argument that kids don't have credit cards, that therefore they cannot be a child if they have a credit card, is frankly false. Now, should they have a credit card? Probably not. But there is also some adults that do give their children credit cards.
You couldn't imagine.
Like for emergencies or...
Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old. They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they openly stated, they were lying.
Wait, what is this?
15 years old. They would later claim to be...
Oh my fucking god. Nux sent the server location to Japan, so I'm over this section. No, this is the biggest bullshit that I've heard all the time about it. No, the age of consent in Japan is not 13. That is bullshit. If you ever hear someone talking about it, they're either a retard or a pedophile.
15 multiple times, but as they openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was born in 2004. They had turned 14 soon before they joined the server. The Discord was a pretty small clique, and soon enough, basically everyone on the server knew that Red was underage.
I had a debit card, like my first bank account had a debit card when I was like 13 or 14. Like my parents specifically got that account for us so that we could learn how to use cards. I mean, we didn't have credit. But now that I think about it, actually, there was a very funny story from my high school where my friend actually did have a credit card when he was 15 and he didn't know how it worked. And like this is the most retarded story you'll ever hear about financial illiteracy. But he literally would have like his account started with like $200 from his mum because his mum was a single parent home, so the mum would just give him money for shit, you know, to buy his affection or whatever. But he had $200 and he's like, I took out $200 and I still have $200 available. And it's like, I took out $200 again and now I've got $400 available. I took out $400 and now I've got $800 available. He literally saw the minus in his bank account. He didn't know what it meant. He thought he'd found an infinite money glitch and he was doubling his money every time he withdrawed it because he didn't understand the minus. Like he thought it wasn't a minus. He thought it was just like a dash, like showing like this is the money where you have the dash. It was the funniest fucking thing. I think like that was because even the retards knew that he was being stupid. And like he had to go get a job after that and pay back his debt because he had no other way to do it. So I'm not even kidding. Like he was so happy. He was buying shit for everybody too. It was like crazy. It was like it almost was like a TV moment. He was from England, by the way. Like he was the one English person we had in our in our high school. And he thought he found the infinite money glitch, but he was just racking up his debt. It was so good. It was so funny. But he was like, I mean, he was buying food for everybody. I got like a free pizza out of it. So, oh well.
This, Nuxtaku made the NSFW channel for them a month later, and within a year, they had posted 242 messages on the channel. There's also an instance where another user pinged Red into the NSFW channel. As far as I can tell, this behavior was not punished. So
this is like, there is no other way to describe this. This is either two minors that are talking about pornographic material in a not suitable for work channel that Nuxtaku has created, or it's an adult talking to a child. Either situation is terrible.
a 14-year-old paid Nuxtaku money to be on his Patreon Discord server. He made
At least he was kind of generous based. He wasn't though. Like the thing is, he was a cunt as well. He was just being. It was just like he was just giving up money because he thought he had an infinite amount of money. That's not. It's not generosity when you have unlimited resources. At least in his mind. Like generosity is when you make sacrifices, in my opinion.
W channel for them, after which he accepted even more money from them, and allowed them to post onto that channel for over a year before they left the server. But did Nuxtaku know that Red was underage? There is no message of Nux acknowledging Red's age, however, it is extremely unlikely that he didn't know. In this conversation from earlier, where Red says they're lying about their age, Nuxtaku shows up soon afterwards. In this conversation, there's some kind of an ERP going on in the general chat, which is interrupted by Red. Red is told not to get involved because they're underage. After Red says the conversation is making them gag, another user jokes, "Oh no, we better stop if we are gagging a minor." Red pinged Nuxtaku soon afterwards, but Nux didn't show up. This is Mintheus Mouselord, or Mitochondria, or Mito. According to Nuxtaku, they were the best poster on the NSFW channel. In this conversation about BDSM, we can see Red asking Mito to send their presentation on sex toys to other users. Note, I just made the presentation because Red was clueless.
So they literally made a presentation on sex toys to send to a minor.
After Bex mentions having a high tolerance to weirdness, Nux shows up to say, "Proud fanbase." Gremmen asks Mito to send the presentation to Nux. I think that Red already sent it to him. No, I told ya. Never sent it, but I can now. What are we sending me? A sex toy presentation. Why? Lol.
Wait, hold on, go back.
Never sent it, but I can now. What?
So Nuxtaku is literally, so Red is the minor. Red was sent what was it? A presentation on sex toys. They then sent it to Nuxtaku. Now, since there's no direct at here and it's a file, it would have to be in a DM. So there is no question about this. Nuxtaku was in DMs with this minor in a topic that was based around sexual content.
What are we sending me? A sex toy presentation. Why? Lol. We needed to explain sex toys to Red. Nah, it's fine if it's not sent to Nux. Already did, Mito. I'm not doing honest descriptions on all Mito's sex toys. A few minutes later at 2:16...
So Nuxtaku did actually open and have a look, but he just decided to not use it as content.
Says, "Very cool, Mito.
You're a minor? Oh, yes, I see. You're joking because you got it spelled with an E. If anyone claims to be a minor in my chat, they're actually getting permanently banned. If you are a minor, get the fuck out. If you're mining for minerals in Australia, that's okay. All right.
Very cool. Nuxtaku has now received a direct message from a minor on his server.
For my channel? I could tell you, I guess. I could have a look. Analytics. Oh, wait. Oops, something went wrong. What does it mean? Let me have a look. I can show you my audience stats. I don't give a shit. Oh my goodness. Incredibly based. Incredibly based YouTube stats. Hold on. Oh my goodness. Hold on. There's no fucking way this. Hold on, I gotta hide the screen for a second. Okay. Okay, there we go. This is my YouTube analytics for the last 28 days. 16% female, 80% male, 13 to 17-year-olds, 0%. 0%. Based on what? Yeah, that's a very funny. I like that one joke actually too. Look at this. Absolute Chad, 35-year-old to 40. So 35-year-old to looks about right. Seems high. It used to be a lot higher. I don't know what's happened. Based uncle, based demos. This is actually a pretty good demographic to have, to be honest. Because you know why? These people have money. Which means that they're very valuable to advertisers. Which I'm selling all of your data to advertisers as we speak. Exactly. Exactly. Look at those. Look at these numbers. I've actually I'm actually surprised. I would have thought that at least one person had stumbled onto my content that would have been in that age range. Not that I'm going after it, but like, it's actually shocking that it's so good. Oh dear. Look at that. He's data broking. He's a sellout. Exactly, I am. I care about money. If you haven't figured that out already, then I don't know what to tell you.
Link to a sex toy presentation that was made for them. What adult is clueless about sex toys? That's a massive red flag that Red is a minor. There was a previous time a month earlier.
Wait, actually, hold on a second. Who's the 65-year-old watching the content? There's like one person. So we have 4% of us is 55 to 60. Then there's like one person, one 65-year-old person. Is that my grandma? Probably. Should be careful what I say.
When users in the voice chat text channel begged Nuxtaku to join the VC because they needed help explaining sex toys to Red. Again, what adult doesn't know what sex toys are? In this example, Nuxtaku...
And like, the thing is that other people are actually referring to this person as a child. It says, keep Red, Shota ears clean. So they're referring to this person specifically as a child, and specifically a young boy. Billy Oki says, okay, Gramps, show yourself. What? I'm on screen. What do you mean? Isn't Nux from Druidia? I don't know if he's a druid or not, but he doesn't look very Druish.
Again, what adult doesn't know what sex toys are? In this example, Nuxtaku declined the invitation to join the VC, but he absolutely was in voice chats with Red multiple times. One of my agents reached out to Red and asked him about their time on the server.
I do like this, by the way, Agent N, and it's just like maybe the Hitman character with an N on their forehead. It reminds me of Dr. Was it Dr. Nitros or something from Crash Bandicoot? I assume this is just Nikandros, but it is kind of funny that Agent N is in the chat. What's up? Hey, I was wondering if you're open to answering some questions about your time on Nux Taku's Patreon server. Shoot your shot. All right, what does he say?
They were willing to share their DMs with Nux to show that they did actually send him the sex toy presentation. So that actually happened. It wasn't just a joke. When asked about whether they were ever in voice chats with Nux Taku, Red recalled being in a VC with him plenty of times. Couple of times a week. They'd be surprised if Nux didn't notice them being underage, since everyone else did. However, they don't recall Nux ever commenting on their age. Now, I am not a journalist. I'm just a guy on the internet. However, I know you're not supposed to take one person's word and just run with it. Red could be misremembering, they might have some bias for or against Nuxtaku, so it's important to have corroborating evidence. On December 15, 2018, Nuxtaku pinged a deleted user to a VC. Red says Nux is in VC, everyone flood, implying they joined the voice channel with Nux.
This is kind of like very sycophantic behavior as well. Like these sort of fans will do anything to kind of get your attention, which is you got to be really careful interacting with these sort of people.
There's a similar
even when they're not minors.
Message from January 15th, 2019. If we scroll down a bit, we can see a screenshot showing Nux in the VC with Red. The real Nuxtaku here is the real Nuxtaku.
Also, Soyboy is the one that's referring to Red as a Shotacon. Well, I guess it's just a Shota. A Shotacon would be somebody that's into Shota.
Another screenshot from the time. Same name, same avatar. The current music channel used to be the old voice text channel. And on it, we can sometimes see Red and Nux posting things close to each other that only make sense if they were in the VC at the same time. Here, for example, Nux is working on a thumbnail. There's a message from Red, messages from Nuxtaku, and then a message from Red. An hour later, messages from Nuxtaku. In this one, we have a message from Red addressing Nux. Later, a photo from Nux, then a photo from Red. In this instance, Red asks somebody to join the VC. Another user posts a caked-up Charizard.
I mean, well, I don't know what I was expecting, but...
Nuxtaku shows a work-in-progress thumbnail. Message from Red, the Charizard from earlier is now on Nux's thumbnail. There's plenty of evidence of Red speaking, having audio issues, and other users commenting about their voice. So it's not like they never talked in the VC. I think this evidence sufficiently corroborates Red's recollection.
I mean, in Red Zone testimony and messages to Agent M, he says he has a very squeaky voice back in the day, so I'd be surprised if anyone didn't notice, but everyone else did. He never directly commented on my memory.
That they were in the VCs with Nuxtaku multiple times. I'm not sure about a couple times a week, but certainly multiple times. Red was already behaving in a pretty immature way, even in the text messages. They would spam emojis and walls of text.
To believe that Nuxtaku didn't know Red's age, you'd have to believe he missed all of the instances when their age was mentioned. You'd have to believe no one told him Red was a minor in chats, VCs, or DMs, and that Nux didn't realize it from their voice when talking to them in VCs.
I think given from the context, it's absolutely confirmed that Nux was aware that this person was 14 or 15. Don't think there's any question of doubt in my mind that Nux would be aware of this. We were unaware of this. And they were obviously very sexually charged conversations, and this is just in public. Like if this minor was messaging PowerPoint presentations about sex toys to Nux Taku, and that's what they're willing to share in private in public. I mean, you know, it's public as a closed Discord, I guess is. It's not necessary. You know what I mean? It's like $1 to get in, whatever. Makes you really wonder what's going on behind closed doors. If they're just fully fine with group gooning sessions with minors.
This should already be enough to strongly conclude that Nuxtaku knew. But to show the full extent of the evidence and the full extent of Nuxtaku...
This is also kind of... I'm not sure if Nikandros is doing this intentionally, but it's also a very fun little callback to the Mr. Beast Chris Tyson, because it was the hashtag Mr. Beast knew or Jimmy knew.
...who's beyond incomprehensible neglect. We need to introduce a new character. After joining the server, Red quickly made friends with another user called Alan Vebus. I know that Alan's avatar here looks an awful lot like Mr. Obvious from my engineer video, but they are not the same person. Alan was a small...
What does the N stand for in Agent N? Perhaps it stands for Nikandros. I don't know. What else could it stand for, chat?
Anime creator at the time and would promote his videos on Nux's Discord. The metadata of his channel reveals that he is from Romania, and he would often mention things about it on the server. There's a lot of conversations between them.
Wait, I want to see what he says about Romania.
Reveals that he is from Romania, and he would often mention things about it on...
Let's see. Don't really believe in good and evil. Actually grew up in the Romanian version of Detroit. Old Detroit. Romania is a peaceful country. I guess growing up in violence helped me sense danger better, I guess.
The server. There's a lot of conversations between them and Nuxtaku on the server, and Nux has mentioned Alan's name 100 times. He even shouted out Alan's channel in a video from October 22nd, 2018.
All patrons are invited to the Discord server, where we do things like make fun of Alan Weebus. If you don't know who Alan Weebus is, oh, trust me, $1 to the Patreon is worth it to meet the guy. He's in a special kind of category, where everyone that relates to him in any way is a tsundere, because we all constantly make fun of him, make believe we hate him, but we all low-key like him.
So he's their designated Discord retard. Or the DDR.
Also, thank you, Alan Weebus, for donating $10 on Patreon, so now I get to shout you out in all my videos. Link to Alan Weebus' channel is actually in the description. He makes funny shiz, and he takes the edge out of edgy, which leaves you just why. Like, why is he making this video? That kind of thing. Anyway, special thanks to King Beat My Meat Sage.
Alan was a very major contributor to the NSFW channel. However, according to Nux, they were still inferior to Mitochondria. He apparently got his material from following more than 300 hentai artists on Twitter.
That's only half as many as
the amount of Tectone.
Oh. God damn it. I swear to God, I thought it was 600, but I guess it's only a third of the 900 hentai accounts that Tectone was following. Alan has made a lot of claims about...
Wait a second.
Roll back the tape,
hentai
Jimmy.
artists on Twitter, but that's only a third of the...
What a thing to post. This is like December 31st, 2023. It's like your New Year's Eve. You've got 4 hours left of the year, and it's like, I better make sure everyone knows I follow 900 hentai accounts. Kind of a weird thing to post on New Year's Eve. If you'd posted it a day or two earlier, I would have found it acceptable.
Amount that Tectone was following. Alan has made a lot of claims about their age, including saying that he was as young as 15. Plenty of users, including Nux...
I mean, it literally says here, Alan is underage lolly.
Made a lot of claims about their age, including saying that...
where was it?
He was as young as 15.
Alan is underage lolly. Yeah, I'm also pretty short. I would send a picture of me, but I can't post pictures. Holy shit. You can post it in voice chat? What the fuck? So that, what, they have some sort of child lock on their fucking PCs? They can't send pictures, but they've found the Discord workaround by posting in a voice chat?
Plenty of users, including Nuxtaku, have also claimed Alan to be underage.
Alan is a lolly. No can do. I mean, even if they're joking about this, there's actual underage people in their server. So it's either they're two underage people talking about sexualized content, or there's an adult and a child talking about sexualized content, which is, I mean, both are pretty fucking bad.
Alan is a lolly. No can do. Alan is underage. Does that mean Nux is grooming Alan? What's going on here? According to Red's recollection, Alan was around 19 at the time. In this tweet, they claim to be 19 in 2019. So if they're telling the truth here, they would have been 18. Another former member believed Alan to be around 21. According to Red's recollection, no one on the server genuinely believed Alan was underage. These statements...
Again, like, even if they're an adult, that means they're talking with children, though, in the server. So it doesn't... Like, there's a no-win situation here.
about Nux grooming Alan or Nux calling Alan a lolly are simply jokes. Very optically bad jokes, but jokes nonetheless. While I'm not sure about Alan's exact age, they were clearly an adult. Alan has unfortunately deleted their Discord account, which makes it hard to determine which messages are his. But we can still tell if it's him talking thanks to context clues. Here Nuxtaku mentions that Megumin from Konosuba is best girl. Alan points out that she is 14 years old. Another deleted user, who I assume is Sack, asks Alan about another character called Taiga. There's two deleted users talking here, so how can we tell them apart? Alan must be one of them because their name is mentioned. So
I'm just kind of curious, like, so the video really kicked into overdrive, like the rate button was activated about, 10 minutes in the video ago. So the first 50 minutes, do you think it was necessary? Because like I said, I think Nikandros likes to include, obviously, a bit of humor, which is very strange for Finnish people. But there's a lot of extra context and details in building his case. Like, it's very methodical. But I wonder if it's just like he's not serving his best interests in trying to get this information out about Nux Taku by keeping it this far back in the video, which is why when we were talking about this on Friday, I kind of started from this point. But I wanted to go back and do, like, I wanted to go back and see the entire context. I think, like, if your goal is to try and get this information out to as many people as possible, he's doing himself a disservice with including this much. At least like 50 minutes is much too much, I think.
this one must be Sack. One of them mentions the age of consent in Romania being 15, so that must be Alan. Sack uses capitalization, while Alan doesn't. That's how we know that it was Alan who said, "Who cares? If she can count, then she ready to mount."
This is Hassan taking more shots at Nux Taku in his week-long feud with me while defending his bro tips past. All right, I never brought up his bro tips past because I felt like it was so long ago, it's not worth it. But he's bringing up like random shit from forever ago and warping it into calling me a pedophile for insane reasons. Did you know that in his bro tips past, he had a famous quote where he said, "If she's old enough to count, she's old enough to mount"?
Come back again next week when we discuss the legendary question of all time: old enough to count, old enough to mount? Question mark?
If that's not pedophile behavior, I don't know what is.
When Hassan said that in 2013, he was playing a character, and he was asking it, not flat out stating it like Alan did.
Yeah, and there's a different thing here as well. Like, as much as I dislike Hassan, it's very clearly a joke that he's making. And the joke is supposed to be adult content for adult audiences. There's also no two ways of communication. If you say something on like a parody TV, YouTube channel or something, like there's no communication there. A Discord, like having a conversation is a very different thing.
You can see Nuxtaku right here.
Oh, this is a Hassan sweep? No, it isn't. It's just being honest. I think that the Hassan stuff is very cringe. And it's clearly just a joke, though. And now, it doesn't mesh with his good boy personality, which is what's very funny about it. It's something in his past that's very embarrassing. But does that mean that Hassan was like a weirdo gooner because he said that? No. What makes him a weirdo gooner is because he went to a brothel in Germany where there was an underage person and they were raided for having underage trafficking of minors there. That makes him a weirdo gooner, not necessarily the context of that joke. Now, with them both together, that's another question entirely. That makes it makes you start to re-evaluate the statement and just how much humor was it. But in of itself, if we're being honest, it's just like an edgy joke.
Condemning those words at all. So he either used to not care about pedophile behavior, didn't think that it was pedophile behavior, or his attack on Hassan is knowingly deceitful. There's a difference between waifu and best girl. Waifus are mountable, so therefore the best girl isn't. However, the art of the best girl is lolly inclusive. Nux is using that word in the petite anime character sense, not the cartoon CP sense. Nux's stance on personally not being into lolly hentai has been consistent for years, but it didn't stop him from posting it onto YouTube. Then Alan says, "Lollies are very mountable." Nuxtaku responds, "You're terrifying, Alan," and moves on. This was 12 days before.
What have I ever done that would suggest that I'm a furry? It might make sense to call me a scaly, but neither is that a true either. Oh, I've never been the allegations, I guess. When's the next cooking video coming out, Kurt? We need to see some what, filet mignon or something? Wait, that's just easy to make. What's meat that's hard to make? You've already made beef Wellington. What is like a good hard cooking challenge? Because the people demand it, Kurt. What's that one that people always be making? Like, what's the fucking, like, you put it souffle? Where's the souffle video? Where's the souffle video? You better be making it right now. Thinking of making brisket? I would actually love some brisket. That would be delicious. I need to see the Kurt making souffle video, though. I think that's going to be the piece de resistance.
before Nux gave Alan that shout out on his channel. So Alan saying things like this didn't seem to be a problem to him.
And he takes the edge out of edgy.
Look at this art. This art is better. And it's Alan posting a comic about some boy kissing his dog. I wish I would be able to get sick from stuff like this again. By the way, don't ask why do I have that. Why do you have that? Red sent it to me. He always sends me fucked up shit like this.
Alright, so this red character is the underage person, if you're just joining us. And they're sending sexualized content between these two people.
Guy's a sociopath, I tell ya. Red shows up and claims Alan is the one who sent it, and shows a screenshot from their DMs. Wow, you resort to Photoshop to make me look bad? Shame. Red shares another screenshot, showing some of Alan's earlier messages. People have no shame, shake my head. Also, I hope someone at school sees you watching this. Is that Minecraft? Yes, I'm 15. Deal with it. Oof, I feel old. He's literally the youngest guy here. I am the youngest? Oh, he is. Makes sense. Yep, Red is 15-year-olds personified. Ha, I'm still underage. So, cause you're talking to me, you are all technically pedophiles. Not me. Yup. Remember, the age of consent in Romania is 15, so I can smack your ass all I want. It's only been 26 minutes since the last time Alan brought up the Romanian age of consent.
This is the thing with like the age of consent and why you should never ever talk about it or even try and make any sort of arguments either way about it, because people always, the people that argue with it about it, always argue in bad faith. And it's the only joke they keep telling over and over and over and over again. Like, you can get away with one of these jokes. If you start saying it every, like they're actually making jokes about how often he talks about the age of consent in Romania, then you're going to have a bad time.
Consent. Alan would make similarly inappropriate comments about Red on the 16th of December.
I mean, he said, I want to fuck 15-year-old boys. I hope I put enough of a silly voice in that so it doesn't get clipped out of context. That would be very bad.
But let's return to October 8th. You are willing to send me the most fucking disgusting shit you have. I only send it to you because you're 15. Exactly. Nobody else would. I initially planned to traumatize you because you were acting tough, but I underestimated you. Who, me? I'm not tough. I guess edgy instead of tough. I am edgy.
Why
not
does he
that
know?
tough.
Well, he lives in Romania. So he's a Romanian gypsy on Discord who's living in the Detroit of Romania by his own words. And he's constantly making reference to the age of consent in Romania. That's the context.
Though. Yeah, I got that.
You have
I
to do
need
the
train
yeah, you actually unironically do have to do the Ralph voice in those things.
You to become tough.
I can't do it though. I'm not
Okay.
good at it.
At this point, Nuxtaku or the moderators should be intervening and investigating what's happening in the DMs between Alan and Red. However, there wouldn't be any moderators or rules on the server until 2020. In late 2019, the server was raided by gore spammers multiple times, and Nuxtaku did nothing about it. What finally made him appoint moderators is when his patrons pulled their pledges. This is one of his own newly appointed moderators saying it at the time. According to Red, on the first day they...
Go back and have a quick read of this. Let me see. We had a few individuals raid the server with disgusting pictures of harassment that led to a few people... Oh, okay.
This is one of his own newly appointed moderators saying it at the time. According to Red, on the first day they joined the server, Alan spammed their DMs with a bunch of gore and NSFW content. There are multiple instances of Red or Alan publicly mentioning Alan sending gore to Red. Here's one from October 6th. On October 14th, Alan mentioned showing his personal collection to Red. On January 1st, 2019, Alan actually posted a gore image into the voice chat channel and pinged Red. In February 2019, Red reacted to a meme by saying, "I can take pictures of men's penises being cut in half, but this is too much even for me." It was a GIF and just a tip. Yeah, for dramatic effect, Alan, shake my head. The message below contains nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from Nuxtaku. Alan having a fascination...
What is he saying?
Nudity, and if we go one message further, we can see a message from Nuxtaku. Okay. Alan having a fascination with gore seemed to be pretty well known on the server. One regular user made this meme about the various quirks of the other regular members. Alan's comedic summary was, posting extreme mutilation pics. Notice that Nuxtaku was pinged on this message. Sending this kind of material to a minor is very harmful and a crime, and it's been going on for 5 months, and Nuxtaku has done nothing. Red would sometimes ask Alan to send him things. Send me the most fucked up shit you have. Look for...
What the fuck is wrong with these people? I don't know. I told you they're DDRs. They're designated Discord retards. For some reason, they just have to do this. They get absolutely obsessed with one thing, like sending mutilation pics to people or like weird porn to people, and they just do the same thing over and over and over. It's like that anime, like the very famous meme, anime sucks cope and sneed. That person was a degenerate dragon inflation porn connoisseur, and they would post the same dragon inflation porn apparently every week to the Kiwi Farms or something. So that's how Null knew about that dude. It just so happens that he happened to get like the right super chat in at the right time. But like They just get obsessed with one thing. It's like some sort of autistic attachment. But instead of seeing something wholesome like trains or dinosaurs, it's weirdo goon material or mutilation material. But there's one in every Discord. More if you don't like be careful. You know, sometimes there's entire Discords that's full of DDRs.
Yourself. I want my friend to know you are worse than the dark web. Soyboy here is another adult user and also a small anime creator. He already knows that Red is underage. Despite this, he asks Red if he can send them something truly disturbing. Okay, Soy, send it to me. BT? Come on. I expected at least nuggets. If you don't know what that word means, don't look it up. Alan proceeds to drop codes to some extremely obscene comics.
Normally this would bait me into actually looking up, but I'm not going to.
Thanks, Alan. Soy, I am extremely disappointed. Red, you scare me. That is actual animal rape and murder. I know. How—
Wait, so they're actually sharing, like, zoophilia material? Like, in no uncertain terms, this is actual animal rape and murder. So zoophilia.
Is that not the most fucked up—
No, sorry, necrozoophilia, the worst variation.
Alan sent me a video of a man getting his head off by a machete. Real life, of course.
So again, this is a 15-year-old. So this adult is sending pictures of humans being mutilated to this character, as well as other users sharing material where it's actual zoophile material. Necrozoophile material. And Nux is being constantly pinged in and asked to join in this conversation.
Nuxtaku was pinged about something off topic immediately after that message, but he didn't show up. After getting Nuxtaku to create the NSFW channel, Red suggested—
specifically, the important point here—
message, but he didn't show up. After getting Nuxtaku—
is that Nux, after all of these conversations, decided that by someone increasing their donation pledge, decided to create this room for their own use. Or for their friends' use. So this is a 15-year-old asking Nux to make the server room, and he's paying more money because of that. And Nux is like, well, thank you. I enjoy this. I enjoy this money. Thank you very much.
To create the NSFW channel, Red suggested making a Not Safe for Life channel for Alan, to which Alan said—
Now, making a containment channel is sometimes a good idea, but in this case, you just need to get rid of these DDRs. There's no place for them.
I wouldn't make Nuxtaku watch something like that. You, on the other hand, can get it. Nuxtaku's nowhere to be seen, but then Soyboy mentions Toei Animation claiming one of his videos. Nuxtaku replies to him with advice, once again showing how close he was to seeing
What the
these—
fuck went so wrong that you want to see that shit? I would say that, like, the pull of the void is not necessarily wanting to see something strange once and makes you a weird person. There's a morbid curiosity, like the very term morbid curiosity explains this phenomenon. But, like, if you're obsessed with it, it's the one thing that you're looking for, or you're specifically trying to, like, gross people out, there is something fucked up and wrong with you. But, like, I think if, like, you're like, oh, there's something messed up, there's a beheading video in Iraq or something, and you're like, maybe I'll take a look. Like, I feel like you can watch it once or something like that. It's pretty messed. It is pretty messed up, though, and I think it's just this, like, dark part of human psychology that we all have. But yeah, if you're obsessed with it, or if you're reposting it, that's all you can talk about. And this is the case. They're always talking about the same things over and over and over again. Then there is something pretty fucking messed up with them. The fact that they're not taking any action with these people is in a place that is focused on, I would argue, material that appeals to younger audiences, anime, Japan-focused content, like pop culture. It's not a good mix. Not so much, no.
Warning signs. Beyond conditioning Red into tolerating extremely shocking and obscene imagery, Alan also encouraged them to drop out of school. On Tuesday, October 9th, Red mentioned skipping school to binge watch anime. Alan cheers them on and says that skipping school is badass, and that he's doing it as well.
Skipping school can be badass, I suppose. You know, it feels pretty based when you're a kid, but, like, to watch anime, no. That's not one of the good reasons to skip school.
Because he's a badass like Red. On October 10th, Nuxtaku pings various users, including Red, to inform them that he finished reading the Black Clover manga all in one day. School got cancelled for the rest of the week for me because the head teacher got so I shall be around lots. Words like head teacher and school are used by children, not college students. Another clear red flag that Red is a minor, right in Nux's face. What?
And Nux is actually contributing to this conversation as well.
Go to sleep, kid. Another clear indication that Red is a minor. Yeah, lol, 176 chapters in a day. This is 5 days before Red got Nuxtaku to create the NSFW channel. If you're worried about that stabbing story, it's something that Red made up at the time. On Thursday, October 11th, Red mentioned—
Do not agree. Usually they go do drugs or drink. Anime much better. I mean, if you skip school and go watch anime, it's probably going to be better for you in the long run. But At least if you're in school and you say I skipped class and I went and smoked, people might think you're cool. If you say I skipped class and went and watched Naruto, nobody's going to appreciate that. Even like everyone's going to recoil.
Having skipped 4 days of school to binge anime. Another user cheers him on. School is a waste of time. On Monday, October 15th, Red thinks about joining a VC.
I mean, that statement may be true and abstract, but not if you're going to go watch anime.
Because there's a lot of people on. But he says that school starts in 30 minutes. Alan once again encourages Red to skip school. On Thursday, October 18th, Red asks Alan for advice on how to lie to their parents to get out of school. Anyone here a good liar? Alan makes multiple suggestions.
And again, this is engaging with an adult to try and find ways to sneak around from their parents so they can go do perhaps illicit material in their discords.
October 30th, Red pinged Alan because he wants to speak to someone that he trusts. Red mentions having the problem of no longer going to school. Alan asks if they quit like a badass mad lad, once again encouraging Red to drop out of school. On December 9th, Violet asks, "Are you guys students or out of school?" Alan says he and Red dropped out. Red says that Alan inspired him. On January 4th, 2019, Red once again says he quit school. He doesn't care about it anymore. On April 10th, 2019, Red described themselves as a 15-year-old dropout. Alan shows up and says, agreed, and that's coming from an older dropout.
Imagine getting advice from a Romanian high school dropout.
So how did Red manage to drop out of school? Let's go to February 2019. Red is talking to Bex, who seems to be having some form of breakdown caused by opiate withdrawals. Many of Beck's messages actually mention them being addicted to drugs, spending all their money on drugs, and having various mental illnesses. Please keep that in mind when passing judgment about what I'm going to show next. I might be overly cautious here because YouTube does not like when certain things are discussed, such as SH. And in this exchange, knowing there is
SH for the context of the chat is knifing yourself.
In the presence of a minor, Bex explains how it works and basically makes it sound really cool. Red mentions having used SH to manipulate their parents into letting them quit school.
Like, it doesn't seem like Nux Taku is a part of these conversations, but the fact that they were going on in this Discord is frankly disgusting. You actually have people talking about the best way to coot themselves. Jesus fucking Christ.
Really? That's impressive. Red expressed that they felt like a terrible person for doing it, how it felt, and they mentioned only doing it twice, to which Bex says, "Psh, imagine only doing it twice. I decided to stop before I couldn't." Real sad boys have on their thighs. Red then reveals that they put their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments, "Ooh, nice." Again, this was
this person need like this person that like they look like this Bex character that looks like they're pretending to be a woman and is encouraging this kid to self-harm them because they think it's cool and sexy. This is absolutely disgusting. Like if there's one like there's Nutaku stuff, I'm pretty disappointed in Nux Taku. This person in particular needs to be executed publicly and made an example of. Like holy shit.
Their upper arm a lot of times. Bex comments, "Ooh, nice."
Like even if you're just trying to be edgy, encouraging a child to do this is one of the most disgusting things you can possibly do.
Again, this was a very irresponsible way to talk about these things with a minor. I don't have any experience or knowledge of how SH works, but Red claims that this needle stuff apparently happened way before they joined the server, but they claim that it was not enough to cause the effect, which makes SH addictive. Based on their comments from back then, there was clearly a unique sensation there, but again, I don't know for sure. Red claimed that the first time they did it for real was on October 31st, 2018. They had a fight with their family, which led to them dropping out. On the day before, Red asked Alan for advice on how to get over their fear of the pain of SH. I'm not sure if Alan is jokingly suggesting that Red should try flipping, as in juggling knives, or if he should try using a folding knife, and he used the word flipping by mistake. Red seemed to interpret it as a suggestion for a type of knife, and asks if he could use a kitchen knife. If you cut yourself, you'll realize the pain is pretty whatever. Okay, thanks. You're welcome. If we scroll down a bit, we can see the exchange where Red asked Alan to talk about the problem of no longer going to school. They hadn't actually dropped out yet, that would happen soon after the 31st, when the SH first occurred. Red would eventually develop an addiction to it. In February 2019, we can see Red mention that he talks to the least people in real life on the server. I have talked to 3 different people in real life in the last month. 5 months after joining the server, they've dropped out of school, they are self-harming, and they've become socially isolated. Despite Alan constantly behaving in an
this kid doesn't have any. The kids do a lot of fucked up weird things, but like this kid didn't even have a chance because his only people he can ask for help and talk to is other people on this goon Discord.
Appropriate, abusive, and downright criminal manner towards Red, Red perceived him as trustworthy. Red saw Alan as a good friend, bestest friend, and the reason why they haven't committed. We have already established that the odds that Nuxtaku didn't know that Red was a minor are super low. The further we looked, the more examples we saw of messages that must have been in Nuxtaku's line of sight that would indicate to any reasonable person that Red is a minor, or that Alan is sending some weird stuff to him.
Actually, I'm curious. In that
Indicate to any reasonable person.
Yeah, Nuxtaku was pinged in this. Now, being pinged doesn't necessarily mean that you see it, but they are constantly trying to get their attention.
That Red is a minor, or that Alan is sending some weird stuff to him. Nuxtaku was also familiar with Alan. They've talked a lot, he's mentioned him lots of times, they hung out in VCs.
Well, he's even joked about, you know, if you join on the Patreon, you get to see Alan's, like, cringe.
He gave Alan a shout out on his channel. But did Nuxtaku know about the other part of Alan's reputation? Check this out. On January 16th of 2019, Alan posted a bait-and-switch video into the general chat channel. The thumbnail shows a naked woman, but when the video is played, it switches to a video containing stuff like this. Despite the warning...
So, if you're just listening on radio to this podcast, basically what happens is the bait-and-switch was a naked lady, you click on the picture, and it's actually goatsy. So a man with a prolapsed anus.
Given by other members to not look at it, Red can be seen giving their reaction to the video. You can take that as a corroboration for my testimony of what the video is.
Oh no, wait. It's some fisting. Okay, so it's some posterior fisting.
Violet said that Alan should be banned. Nuxtaku was then pinged because Alan did something bad. Nux shows up and says, "Wow, didn't see that one coming," and he then leaves. He took no action. He didn't delete the video or punish Alan or anything. Again, that was January of 2019. Nuxtaku would still have Alan on the Rant Cafe podcast in July and August.
And next,
so fully aware of what this degeneracy this person was posting, and in specifically to and among this person that is a confirmed child at the time.
Also, believe it or not, have Alan Weebus himself.
Hi there. Sorry, I'm the replacement for Animac Forever. He's dead now. I killed him. So you're gonna have to get accustomed to my presence from now on.
Despite everything that was happening for months, Nuxtaku publicly endorsed this guy and presented him to his audience as this harmless, funny troll guy. When I asked Red about these old messages concerning their personal situation at the time, they said it was the beginning of probably the darkest period in their life. The good news is that they stopped self-harming in 2021. They went into a dropout rehabilitation program, and they are now working on their university degree.
Did they just like stop watching Nux Taku videos and immediately they stopped self-harming and went back into fucking university? Holy shit. I mean, that isn't said there, but it's, I think the implication is pretty obvious. If you stop watching Nux Taku videos, then you simply just, your life improves.
Some things. I reached out to Red because I saw their post on the Discord from years ago. They didn't reach out to me, no one tipped me off about them, I discovered them myself. I haven't conducted any in-depth interview with this person. I would just send them questions every now and then, and laid out this timeline and asked for their thoughts. They described it with the words, "All of that is accurate, to my knowledge." They don't remember anyone on the server really recommending them to seek help. When I asked about how they felt about Alan's behavior, they...
Of course not. Giving help is helping someone and being honest, and stop being memeing for a second is cringe.
Recognized that it was inappropriate towards a 14-year-old, but they don't believe he had any sexual grooming intention or meant what he was doing in that manner. They also mentioned Alan being very troubled at the time, which, based on Alan's messages, assuming he isn't lying, seems to be true. Based on the logs I've shown, it's tempting to conclude that the influences that Red was exposed to through Nuxtaku's unmoderated Patreon Discord server led to them dropping out of school at age 14 and getting into SH. The timeline laid out by the messages and by Red's testimony does support the idea, but to actually determine if that's the underlying reality would require further investigation. However, regardless of the actual consequences, allowing people to encourage or praise this kind of behavior in the first place is already insane. What is clear is that Red was repeatedly exposed to extremely obscene NSFW content and gore on the server, and that Nuxtaku made the NSFW channel because Red requested it, and then accepted more money from them. If Nuxtaku was too busy to moderate the server properly, it's not like he was totally unfamiliar with the concept of moderators. If he was, the 16th message on his Discord server was a user recommending him to designate moderators, to which Nux responded, "Indeed." One of the basic responsibilities of a Discord server operator is to make sure that children are not exposed to adult content on their server. By allowing Red on the server and allowing them to be exposed to all of these harmful influences, based on my estimation, Nuxtaku made $46. Not only did he fail to carry out that basic responsibility, he made money from neglecting it, something which would eventually become a core element of his success. If you remember, the Chris Tyson server closed its NSFW channel in January 2019.
I mean, it's a pretty sneaky content grift as well. Like you get as much bait and engagement as you can possibly with this sexualized, over the top stuff. You attract a very young audience, and then you switch to like this fake conservative grift, which seems very popular these days.
Before the server went public, Nuxtaku's Patreon and SFW channel is still open in 2026. There is no age verification process.
Is Stick still alive? Isn't he past his due date for death? Like he said he had 2 weeks left. Is it 2 more weeks, trust the plan, or what's going on there?
And anyone with $1 can join in. The channel hasn't had a new post since 2024, but it was still active when Nux Taku was casting judgment on Eva Tyson. It's probably good to point out that Nux Taku and Eva Tyson were both born in 1996. Tyson in July and Nux Taku in February. Nux Taku is a few months older than Tyson, but he was making demonstrably worse mistakes at the same age, and continued to make those mistakes for years afterwards. There is no evidence for
Again,
Tyson...
this is very funny that he dropped this video on Nux Taku's birthday.
ever grooming anyone on
That's
the
like
server,
coming as the
but
final
her career
gag,
was
but I
still
just-
destroyed by the
yeah,
controversy,
6 days ago,
something which
disclosed
Nuxtaku cheered on. And with that, I conclude the first part of our dive into Nuxtaku's history. In the next part, I'll show the dishonest ways in which he has defended his past content to his new religious right-wing audience, an audience that he has attracted by saying stuff like this.
Banning our books! They're firing! They're not banning your books, they just don't want them in schools teaching children and grouping them. There's a big difference between banning books and not wanting to show sexualized, pornographic, grouping material to kids. There's a big difference, actually. This dude is like, I cannot believe they are banning our porn from the schools. All I want to do is show sissy, hypno, transgender porn to 7-year-olds, and society does not let me. All right, so you have...
I mean, specifically, that's a very funny comment since he actually had hypno pornography as one of his thumbnails that showed up earlier with the hypnosis, the hypno from Pokemon.
The interracial gay couple. Those move. Raising a kid.
For your 2 biggest fans.
And this is a boy in a tiara and a skirt. I'm telling you, it's grooming. It's so obviously grooming. It's so obviously grooming, man.
Students growing up with free thoughts and with critical thinking and not being indoctrinated into their beliefs. That's the biggest fear of fascists. And
you literally have a pedophile flag on your shirt.
Should we be surprised that a company whose name is literally American Eagle is making fascist propaganda like this?
Bitch, you literally have a pedophile flag in your background and you're wearing a nose ring. What are we talking about? Why would anyone ever take you seriously?
It's gonna be fun. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share the video if you enjoyed it. Oh, and of course, congratulations on your 30th birthday, Nuxtaku.
He's old! He's old, Chad. He's a 30-year-old man. He's a 30-year-old man. All right, so apparently there's part 2 of this is coming out soon. I'm looking forward to seeing that. But there was this response that Nux Taku came out with a few... Like, he watched a few clips of it. He actually said he didn't watch the entire thing. But then Harmful Opinions. I've got to like the video because I love my Harmful Opinions. Another based autist went over some of the responses. The Nux guy to try and prove that he's a good boy didn't do nothing. So let's take a look at that.
It really is. It's like, oh, a guy got groomed in a Discord, which is fucking awful. Don't get me wrong, and I'm really sorry if I contributed to that at all.
Oops.
It's really fucking
Oops,
awful.
sorry.
But I really didn't contribute to that.
Oops, whoops. All grooming in the Discord. Wow. Okay. Thank you, Nux Taku.
Much at all. Much at all. Much at all.
It was just a little bit. Just a little bit of grooming.
Amazing.
I didn't contribute that much to the grooming. Like, what a thing to fucking say.
Strategy of admitting to a crumb of grooming. Everyone deserves that as a treat,
Yeah,
right?
as a treat,
now
yeah.
and then, so long as you're not involved in much, apparently. He also decided to use the defense.
So this is why, like if Nikandros' video had this sort of bombshell thing in the first line, I think that's what you need in 2026 on YouTube. It just from an editing point of view, in my opinion.
As I said in my last video, would make him look like a massive pedophile.
Someone entered a Discord and lied about their age.
That is an incredible half-truth. They did lie about their age. In the server, they repeatedly said they were 15 when they were actually 14. That doesn't help you, Nux. And we'll look at that more closely later.
Yeah, it's like, well, they lied about their age. It's like, yes, but they were still a child, and they were lying about being a child while being a child. So, oopsie. They lied about their age. It's just like, you can just say they lied about their age. It's like, well, that absolves me of all the guilt. No, it doesn't. It does not fucking do that at all. Again, Nuxtaku was aware of this person's age. I don't believe for a second he did not. It was clearly a running gag in their fucking Discord that this person was a child. They were in voice calls together. The person even said that they had a whiny, like, high-pitched voice that would very clearly be identified as a child's voice, despite just saying over and over and over that they were a child. And this person was receiving and also sending material of a sexual nature to Nuxtaku. There is no way this person, like, did Nuxtaku try and get this person to, like, groom them or something? I don't know about that. But at the very least, this is an incredibly inappropriate conversation that he was aware of, and he just either neglected or was actively engaging in.
And someone else in the Discord, in one of my servers over the years, and someone messaged that guy lewd stuff.
That's a half-truth. That did happen, but that happening was also openly discussed in your server, and comments like this were also openly made towards him, acknowledging his age. I'm not going to read it out, so if you're listening in the background, tab in for a second.
Tab in, boys. Tab in and like the video. Oops.
Which is awful.
Just jump scared myself.
But yeah, unfortunately, parents need to make sure that their kids aren't logging into 18+ servers. You know,
again, this is incredibly deceptive because Nux has described it as didn't even describe it as a 18+ server. He described it as a 16+ server.
Oh,
that's
He described his content as 13+ as well.
They do. However, why do they need to do that? It's not just because of creeps like that guy. It's because of people like you. Because even though it was blindingly obvious, and any reasonable person would have known that this guy was a kid, even without explicit statements of age, Nux made a not safe for work room at his request.
The NSFW channel wasn't there from the start.
You can see the original name of the video. Nux Taku ruined a child's life for $46, and now it's been changed to Nux's introductory to Nux's early porn introduction empire, whatever, part 1.
Trace its creation to this exchange from October 15th, 2018, where we can see this user, who from now on will be called Red, repeatedly asking Nux to create it. If we look at the time and date of these messages, the NSFW channel was made 2 minutes later. In response to this, Red raised their Patreon pledge, and Nux gave them a thumbs up.
I don't know where else has this, but certainly in the UK, sometimes you'll stop at a service station, a rest stop, and there'll be a gaming section, which is a gambling section, and it'll have a little barrier.
Yeah, it's got like the fucking pokey machines, like the digital blackjack or whatever. Gaming means gambling. For maybe non-Americans don't understand this. I don't know.
This is 18+ only. If a kid walks in there, is some creep showing them like a porn mag or something cool because the parents shouldn't have let that happen? Like, you'd be fine with that guy. It's not about him. Okay, dude, face the wall. However, Nux decided to make a more substantial response. It's buried about 20 minutes into a video, and he simultaneously claims that Nikandros' video is bullshit, and that he hasn't seen it.
Now, the reason why this came up
is a common strategy to say it's both wrong and you haven't watched the video.
Because recently, someone made a hit piece on me, and it was an hour and a half long, so I didn't watch it, I'll be honest, but I did see some of the clips that were floating around.
Let's take a look at a few of the things he said in defense of himself.
There is a note here saying absolutely nothing from minors, by the way, no personal nudes, no content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit, all right, just to be clear.
Yeah, good.
All right, well, first of all, let me see. All right, that's accurate what he just said, but then again, that doesn't help his case when he was being sent pornography from a child as well. Even if it wasn't of a child, it was still pornography being discussed between one adult and one child. There's no way that I think Nux can disprove this fact.
Content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit. All right, just to be clear.
Yeah, good job, Nux. You banned CP. Yeah, of course, not what you're being accused of. But did you notice what's also shown on screen? The definition of content that's allowed, which includes stuff you shouldn't show to your parents. Certainly a good idea not to show your parents that stuff.
All of this seems flimsy. I don't know if you... what do you mean it sounds flimsy? Nux was talking with a child, conversations that were literally sharing a PowerPoint presentation on sex toys and porn with a child. I mean, was he watching CP? No. But he was having these wildly inappropriate conversations.
Given what we know and have concrete evidence on about the user base, takes on a bit of a different tone.
And like to use a joke as well, like the Norm Macdonald, it's the hypocrisy. That's the worst part. Because Nux is very clearly, very openly and very publicly been this anti-Guna, well, not anti-Guna, sorry, but like this current grift about talking about like keeping this smut out of schools, keeping it away from kids, and also very going hard in the paint against Shadman, who is doing this sort of material as well, and Ava Chris Tyson, which is the reason that Ava Chris Tyson was even being attacked in the first place is because not only because of the Shadman connection, but having this Discord where they were engaging in sexualized talks with a child.
Next up, we have what I believe is the very worst part of his response.
You couldn't imagine. You don't need to.
All right.
Red joined the server on September 7th. On day 1, they openly declared themselves to be 14 years old.
I didn't know about this.
Sure you didn't, buddy. And when you talked to the kid in voice chat, which you did multiple times, I'm sure they sounded very mature for their age.
They would later claim to be 15 multiple times, but as they
I didn't know about this.
Openly stated, they were lying about their age. Red was...
I mean, I simply don't believe this. Like there may be some element of plausible deniability, but these conversations about their age were right in the same thread where Nux was talking. Like they were engaging with this person. I don't believe that they didn't know, especially when they were continually, like, frequently DMing and also voice chatting with this person. I'm sorry, I don't. That's a bridge too far for Nux to say this is. Oh, I just had no idea.
Lying about their age.
born in 2000.
They lied about their age. Got him, Nux. Nikandros doesn't finish the sentence. That's where the clip cuts off. But we can hear him say, born in 2000 and... Quick maths, Nux. If this person was born in 2000 and something, and the stuff in the server occurred in 2018, what's the oldest they could have been? Nux Taku just showed us that this kid was underage, and that the lie about their age was that they were 15 rather than 14, and tried to use that as a defense of himself. See, they lied about their age. That's your defense when they say they're 18, not when they tell you they're a kid. And they are a kid. He then shows off his intense retardation once again.
Yeah, so, look, man, I don't know how a minor even got into this Discord server, because as I'm sure he mentioned this in the longer video, I'm not trying to say that he tried to slander me on purpose over here, but this was a Patreon server. For those of you that are unaware, Patreon servers are inherently 18 plus.
That is totally false,
No, they're not.
and the proof of that is on screen.
You just get your, like, you can either steal your parents' present. Oh my goodness, my brain is literally turning to mush. You can either steal your parents' credit card, or you can just ask them to use it, and many parents will just say yes because they're very uninvolved.
Because if you want to become a patron, if you want to join a creator's membership as a patron, or provide membership as a creator, you must be at least 18 years old.
Keep reading, Squid Boy.
Or have permission from parent or guardian.
In other words, it's not inherently 18 plus. At all. For some reason, he doesn't read any more of that page, despite showing it on screen. This supposedly inherently 18 plus platform goes on to state, as we welcome people over the age of 13, we employ stricter measures to ensure their safety that ultimately translates to a zero-tolerance policy for sexualizing underage individuals on Patreon. That's a reassurance to parents that it's safe. Why didn't Nux read that part?
All right, quite literally, that obviously didn't happen. This was inherently an 18 plus Discord server.
As we've shown, absolutely untrue.
So if someone lied or stole their mom's credit card, or their mom let their kid join a Discord server from a guy that was making more, adult-focused content on my YouTube channel, that is the parents' fault.
And just like that, Nux defended all grooming on Discord. You see, Discord and...
Is there crows in the background of... Wait, hold on a second. Listen very carefully, if you had headphones on, to the background of harmful opinions.
It's the parents' fault.
And just like that, Nux defended all grooming on Discord.
There is crows in the background of harmful opinions videos. It doesn't... This isn't an argument. It's just... This happened to me too. Some of my early videos, you can hear crows in the background cawing when I'm trying to record stuff because the crows would just not shut the fuck up. That's just very funny. Apparently they've got crows in the UK as well. Sorry. I know that it completely detracts from the argument and reduces the serious level of it, but I like birds.
Is he Discord?
That is...
Actually, people make fun of me for my fucking dinosaurs and my trains, but I think I'm into birds more than anything.
Parents' fault.
And just like that, Nux defended all grooming on Discord. You see, Discord and pretty much every service has the same policy. If a policy like this means that anything that occurs when they allow their child to make an account is their fault, everyone's off the hook. Nice nut.
And like the idea that people that have these paid services, like it's like saying that a kid on Steam has to be over fucking 18 because you need a credit card to buy Steam games or something. It's just ridiculous. No, kids get their parents to pay for stuff. A lot of minors do have credit cards.
Great argument. I agree that parents need to be more careful, but that's not the same as a green light to do whatever you want with a kid. Well, I wouldn't have been able to make a not safe for work channel specifically for this obvious child if you hadn't let them in my grasp. Isn't particularly compelling to me.
Just to be clear, again, I'm really sorry if any bad thing happened to any person in any of my servers. Obviously, that's disgusting and horrible.
However, you only got groomed and started to be encouraged to do self-harm by a little bit. Oopsie daisy.
Was an 18 plus server.
Utterly false. His defense actually boils down to, if you think about it, but the parents consented.
That's one. And two, also important to mention, this not safe for work tab that ended up, this channel, this not safe for work channel, which again, I regret. I don't think I should have ever done that. That was definitely a mistake on my part. I'm not trying to say it wasn't, but 2018, 8 years ago.
Yeah, same age as the Chris Tyson stuff. What is 8 years the cutoff? 8 years and then it's all cool? The Chris Tyson stuff was bad because it was 5 years ago when you were talking about it?
I guess, didn't think about it clearly enough. This server was removed, this channel with the not safe for work thing was removed really quickly after it was made. I think, if I remember correctly.
The guy did a cartoon panic gulp.
I think. And
yeah, it's called the Cope gulp. That's very funny though.
I think, if I remember correctly.
The guy did a cartoon panic gulp.
I think. And even more importantly, this also had an age verification. This also had an age verification. You needed to click that you were 18 plus to join this channel in the server. All right.
Care to try and prove that, Nux? And anyway, why would you need to do that? You already told us it was inherently 18 plus. And here's the thing. He's already lied about that channel. He says it was deleted very quickly, right? Nikandros shared a copy of your server with me. That channel was being used in 2024. Why would I believe anything else you say about it? I'm a nice guy though. I decided to check for circumstantial evidence. And while I couldn't find proof that it was restricted from the start, it does appear to have been restricted at some point, based on, for instance, a discussion from 2020. A user called Scrubsicle.
I mean, the thing is that Nux Taku has basically no defense that he couldn't have changed it at a later date because he's one of his prime content strategies is literally going back and changing things after it gets drama, after it get attention, or just like switching out sussy stuff with like less sussy stuff, like with the thumbnails, the uploads, the videos, and things like that. So this is like just his bread and butter.
Is able to post in the Not Safe for
You would
Work
need
channel.
you would
and
need
people
like
are
a time capsule to go back and actually check that he's talking about this, like if this is accurate.
Users say they're proud of Scrub and call them Sneaky Scrub. Someone asks why Scrub can't post there, and another user answers age. There's a guy on the server who goes by My Dude, and he appears to be a top mod or something. He's the one who wrote the server's rules as of 2020. And he shows up in this discussion of bypassing the age gate to say, if she entered a fake age into Discord, we'll take no responsibility. Another fellow responds, oof, good job. How everyone tends to do it. Smiling sans. And she can be seen posting in there 20 days later. So it does appear that at some point an age gate was added, though when it was brought to moderators' attention that it was being bypassed, appropriate actions were not taken. Something else I found while looking for evidence of an age gate. Do you remember how Nux proudly defended himself with the channel's rules? Specifically,
There is a note here saying absolutely nothing from minors, by the way. No personal nudes, no content of minors, content depicting the minors, content made by minors, none of that shit. All right, just to be clear.
I mean, the no content made by minors is kind of ridiculous as well, because like Nux Taku was literally using content of minors, specifically the one where the kid, like for the $1,000 reward video, where a kid like farts into the camera and then like puts it at the dog or something. Or
turns out, actually, these weren't the rules when the kid was there. The mod posted a rules update in 2020. A month later.
Oh no, these rat time-gated posts.
Actually, these weren't the rules when the kid was there. The mod posted a rules update.
Rules update for the channel. Not suitable for content allowed. Stuff you shouldn't show your boss, parents, or younger siblings. Not suitable for live content forbidden. Stuff you shouldn't show anyone. Disturbing content needs to be put in the spoiler tags as mentioned as such. Personal nudes are not allowed. Okay.
In 2020. A month later, another person says, just want to update you all that we improved the Not Safe for Work rules slightly to what should be common sense, namely the not allowed section.
The problem with common sense is that it isn't so common.
Well, common sense.
This every time you try anything, this always happens.
This rules were those while a user discusses these changes shortly after. But back on the real topic at hand and to speak directly, legal lollies aren't allowed. To be clear, children are not to be posted. Even the no personal pics rule that he pointed out, that wasn't there. You can see people discussing it being added. It was apparently users who had to push for that when it, quote, became a problem. Nux Taku is defending himself with server rules that didn't exist at the time the bad stuff happened. In fact, they weren't added until 2 years after. In the channel, he says was quickly...
Which is more autistic, dinos and birds? They're the same thing. Birds are dinosaurs. I tricked you. When I said I wasn't really that into dinosaurs, I'm into birds. Where do you think the fucking dinosaurs went?
Deleted after it was made. I'm losing track. What in his defense of himself isn't a lie? I think the odds are pretty good that there wasn't an age gate when that channel was first made, 2 minutes after the kill.
I think the Alan stuff is the Alan stuff is the most disturbing. Nux was literally promoting Alan though. The issue is that Nux's audience doesn't have a problem with this. They have no problem with sexualized content being spoken about or with minors, because it was going on as an open thing in their Discord for the longest time. So Nux didn't even need to put out any sort of, like, it just doesn't, like, it doesn't matter. His audience just is okay with this.
Requesting it. I thought you were just a reckless, spineless, soulless freak. Now I'm starting to have worse suspicions.
Oh,
you
camera
cannot
turned
argue
off.
that someone who is spewing total bullshit about what happened has grown and changed. He only became more cautious. He's not a different person.
All right. That's actually very, very good time for the camera to kind of fuck up, because that's the end of that video there. Very cool. Well, I mean, no, but not a great situation. But we'll have to do a follow-up stream of this when we see more of Nux Taku's response and also the part 2. Because if you noticed, and I mentioned this several times, the way Nikandros does his videos is he keeps the best stuff for the last video. So the part 2 should be, you know, if history holds, the better stuff. And also including the copes that Nux brought up in his response. And this is the problem where you have to be careful tomorrow. I don't know about tomorrow. We'll have to. It'll just be when it comes out. Now I'll probably have a. Probably talk about something else tomorrow. The problem is if someone makes a video and there's a part 2 coming out, you never want to do your response until the part 2 is released, because then if you start saying lies to try and cover your ass, and they're very going to be clearly contradict what's in part 2, it's going to be a very, very bad look. Again, like I said, I think it's not going to affect Nux's career. Maybe he won't get collaborations with big YouTubers from going forward. But if he just keeps making his content, his audience doesn't give a shit. Anyway, the night streams are better than the day streams? Is that just because that's when you're watching? But wait, are you talking about my day or my night? Because for me, it's night right now. It's like, it's past midnight. I'm about to go to bed. Well, actually, I'm going to watch an episode of Game of Thrones and then go to bed. He hasn't released his rape mode video on Mudahar yet. There's been several Mudahar videos. The first one was, there's been 3 Mudahar videos. So I'm not sure if it's the special one. Actually, there's actually quite a lot of Mudahar content. He's kind of obsessed with Mudahar. Interesting. All right, guys, I'm going to head off tonight. I hope you enjoyed that. But what to say? How to end this out? It's all so terrible. And unfortunately, their people just won't care. Nothing matters, chat. It's all so pointless. How bleak. What a wonderful start to the week. Have a good one. I know what I can play this out on.
Was this story based? Not this time.